to stage. Beautiful. Hello to the people. I've got some things to show you. Nobody's watching there. Oh, that's shit. Come on, it's a Friday night. I must have some Friday nighters. Oh, it's a bit dark, isn't it? Let's get a bit more light on, actually. Does that make a difference? Does that make a difference? I think that makes quite a big difference. 3 people? No, don't be so silly. I've got some major announcements to make. You can't just have 3 people. Oh, 2 people. One of them doesn't even want to hear the major announcements. Fantastic. Right, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. I'm testing out some new tech, guys. So first of all, what do you think to the new screen layout? You're no longer up there. The camera is now there. I was going to say we, but obviously Lee has zoomed it in. So that's really cool. Right, I'm using, either no one's commented yet or it's not working. But I think no one's commented yet because I've got StreamYard on here as a backup in case what I'm about to say doesn't work. But we're using Stream Chat Ninja, so the chat's going to look different. And then I've got something really exciting to talk to you about. But there's only 10 of you and no one seems to care. Right, so look at this. Right, so basically we're taking Grifting to a new level. I now have, look at this. Right, so I think, oh shit, it's not working. Oh, bastard. The comment section isn't working. All right, that's fine. We're learning. So just the fact that it's not working is good to know. So I can see on StreamYard, I can see that Rachel has commented, but it's not come up on the new tech. That is really annoying. So let's bang that on for now. Right, well maybe this should still work. So I need somebody, maybe, oh no, Rachel's too much of a R of the tards. But right, so here we go. Let's just get to what I want to show you. So now I think there's a nice little sticker there. That's not what I want to show you. But I think if you send a PayPal to that, I think it's going to come up on the screen just like a super chat. Now it might not work. So if somebody is willing to test it, I'd very much appreciate it. Obviously, if you do it and nothing comes up on the screen, can you please let me know in the chat? I'm a little bit worried though because it's currently saying that only Rachel has commented on StreamYard. I mean, there are only 15 people in the chat, so maybe that's right. Yeah, well, this is the worst live stream ever so far. And I've probably only got Rachel in the chat that donates, and she can't use PayPal because she's a complete technophobe. Well, that was nice, Rachel. Didn't say I managed to not call you nasty. So this is turning out to be quite a damp squib. But obviously, from my point of view, I really want to know whether this works. Now, why isn't it showing? So we've got Stacker in as well now. But it's not showing the comments on the screen. Oh, right, no, it is. It is on StreamYard. So it probably means it is for you. So that's good. All right, well, if we haven't got anyone in who is both generous and capable of using PayPal, so we can't test that for a while, that's fine. But can you just get some chats in so we can have a live stream? Because so far, this is the worst live stream ever. We're 4 minutes in and we've got 2 chats. Oh, right, it's about to get a lot better. Because, so I'm going to have to use this. Right, so I need to get StreamYard back on the screen, don't I? All right, bear with me, guys. It's all a process. It's the worst live stream ever already, so you might as well just have another 30 seconds of crap. So, let's pop that back over here. But then am I going to see the PayPals? I'm not going to see the PayPals. So we can't go that far over, so we'll have that there. Right, I'll get rid of that because that's not working. And then I'll get StreamYard and I'll go whoop and pop that Oh my God, pop that there. But that's too big. I need to make it a bit smaller. I knew it was too good to be true. But I know we'll get there. I know we will get there. Right. That's not as good as normal. Yeah, that's really bad. Why is it so bad? Yeah, I mean, I should still see the PayPal. Yeah, if someone made a PayPal, I don't need that actually. I would still see it there. So that should still work. Oh no. Sorry guys, but this is more of a learning. I mean, it will become a live stream in a minute. At the end, I want to practice sharing some X videos and things like that. But I'll do it at the end just with the keen people that make it to the end and want to help me learn. Alright, fuck me, what a nightmare. Why is that so small? That's crazy. What's going on? Oh God, do I just end this stream and give up? I don't think I can do this. Oh, I fucking hate doing new things. I fucking hate doing new things so much. Please don't disappear. Okay, so let's make that bigger. Oh, that's better. Yeah, oh wow, now we're in business, but now I can't see that. Oh, fucking great. Oh, I think this is why Lee keeps saying I need a monitor. Bastard. Oh, I can make that smaller there. There you go. Oh, perfect. Okay, we're in business, guys. We are in business. And I can click on that as well, which makes it, okay. Well, that's way too small, isn't it? Let's make that bigger. Oh, no, that's not going to work. You bastard. You bastard. Oh, what a mess. Oh, I fucked it up. Actually, maybe that's fine. Maybe that's what I do. Maybe I have OBS on this screen. Then StreamYard in big here. And then that there. Oh, baby! That works. Right. Is anyone willing to test out that PayPal link and see if it comes up on the screen? Oh my God, and it's Jeroen, as if. That's incredible. And of course it's a 333. Wow, Jeroen, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, man. I just love that because obviously, obviously we're good because we don't do drama and fallings out. But there's been some strong reflections, well, from me to you. And I just think it's beautiful that you're here and that you're donating with such beautiful numbers. And that Jeroen is the first one that used the PayPal link. So obviously what this means is YouTube aren't going to take their dick dastardly 30%. Now, of course, you can still use the YouTube chat if that's easier, but this is a way of doing it, still having the same result. Now, what I forgot to ask the person to do, in this case, the wonderful Jeroen, is, no, he has. He's put greetings from Holland. So I think you can put a message in there now. Does that come up on the screen? Greetings from Holland. Now, I'm assuming none of that's back to front for you. Everything looks the right way around for you, yeah? Is that right? Drew, thank you so much, man. And that's made me feel so warm inside. It really has. Now, I'm still looking upwards when the camera's there. Okay, we're learning. So, isn't that exciting? It's probably only exciting for me. But I'm just so buzzing that Drew, I just love Drew. Right, so Jeroen's, his videos are getting really interesting now. So Jeroen, I'll write it in here. This is his channel. So if you watched his channel and didn't like it, then give it another go because it's I really enjoyed it. And there was a time when I didn't like it. Jeroen, oh no, it's something. It's Lightbringer Jeroen. It's the other way around, but it's those words. Lightbringer Jeroen, and I think it's got a hyphen, not an underscore. That's almost it. Lightbringer Jeroen. It's the other way around. Sorry, I need more coffee. Go and check out his channel and subscribe. All right, so we've got C Plebs, we've got Arcadian, we've got Rachel. icon. Yeah, you can't click on the fucking icon. You, Rachel, you just keep sending money on YouTube. Gotta love Rachel. Hey fella, glad you are doing okay. Well, I haven't told you yet. Something terrible could have happened. Could have had a death in the family since we last spoke, so don't jump the bloody gun. I'm doing good, thank you for caring. Hello everyone, hello Sim Racing Wales, Pedro's in the house, the Lightbringer. All right, yeah, so you can just click on that actually, that'd be much easier. Yeah, if you like my Tom Greatest videos, then I imagine you'll enjoy his. We've got somebody from Derby. The Sheep Shaggers are in the house. C Plebs is probably giving you room one of the bad times. One of the reasons I don't use PayPal, but they're scammy bastards. Well, from my point of view, they're not. They don't take anything. If you click on the friends and family link, my understanding is they don't take anything. But yeah, of course of course it's made by the Jays. But what are you going to use? It's not made by the Jays. Do you not use any bank cards? And don't say fucking Bitcoin because that's made by them too. Not sure of its percentage or a fixed amount. So from your point of view, it shouldn't cost you any, you pay whatever you want to pay. In your case, obviously, the magical 333. And then if you click on friends and family, I don't think it takes anything. And if you click on the other, which presumably is business, I think it takes 10%. That's my understanding. But I don't know. Hiya, how you doing? Are you a new member? Or are you one of those members that got gifted a membership? Either way, thank you and welcome. Convoy's in the house. Tom, put the PayPal link in the description. You mean instead of having it on the screen? No, it's going on the screen. But yeah, that would be a good idea. Next time. Lovin'. Get your dirty secrets into the chat for everyone to see. I know you did it. I know you did it last time. I saw it on the replay, but I forgot to bring it up on the night. So let's do it again. Get your dirty secrets in, and we'll take the piss out of you. Or maybe not. You might be shocked. But I need to ask you some questions. Yeah, can you get your dirty secret in, and can you provide some more information? So the band, the venue, how many people, how noisy was it? And then I can make my assessment on whether you're a demon or not. Jim's got his wellies on. C Plebs. I just had a bad experiences using them for seller and buyer. Yeah, fair enough, man. Hey up, interested on your new Yeti cup? Oh, is this? This is Stephen bought me this. It's not new. So it's my year anniversary since I met Stephen. I'm thinking about texting him and asking him if he wants to do a live stream. What do you think? Do you think I should do that? For our year anniversary. So Stephen is a lovely American man who came to meet me in Mexico and gave me about £1,500 worth of gifts. And the Yeti cup was one of them. Sadly, I've lost the fucking lid. But it still does a great job if you just put like a book over it or something. But yeah, losing the lid was shit. So for those that don't know, Yeti cups keep your coffee hot for hours if you don't lose the lid. Do you have hot drinks in it? In this? Yes, I've got coffee. Obviously, it's first thing in the morning for me, so coffee is very crucial. Have it on screen and in the description. C Plebs knows how to grift. I like your thinking, C Plebs. Nice. Ooh, Josh is in. That's exciting. But first, we'll do this. Did you get into the US or Asia? I'm in Asia, and did you see what the US have announced? Our far right, wonderful savior, Donald Trump. Have you seen what he's announced? Yes, he loves the Jays so much that now anyone who has ever criticized the Jays on social media are not allowed in America. Any tourists, that is, not Americans yet. So, can we all stop pretending that Trump is anything but an absolute J ogler of a satanic phallus? Josh, what's happening with Josh? I love Josh. Hey Tom, how are you? I'm really good, Josh. How are you? I wanted your opinion maybe, on diet. Not really the right one to ask. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to learn to just read the comment section without being ADHD as fuck. What's the optimal human diet in your opinion? Carnivore, vegan, or just eliminate processed food? Yeah, I think you're best probably just going with that, eliminate processed food. Because I don't know if there's an answer. So you'll get loads of different opinions on this and studies. And if I was to say which one I think might be best for your body, I mean, I think it's probably going to be different for everyone. And it's going to be different for different stages of people's lives and different vibrations and all that. I'm most interested in the carnivore diet. I think there's... No, for me, I think it would be, I think you call it paleo, which is basically just eating things of the season and of your lands. So meat and veg, but not, you know, flying mangoes or avocados in. That one makes a lot of sense. But I think if you're just eating stuff that comes out of the ground or walks on the ground, then you're laughing. But I'm absolutely no expert. There is a really good, well, he's very on the carnivores. No, in fact, forget that, he's eating raw meat. I'm not saying eating raw meat isn't right, I'm just saying, you know, who's going to do that? Pedro, do you get a lot of satellites where you are? PayPal family goes straight to bank with no refunds. Business takes 3 days to go to bank and you can get refunds. As in, people can just demand a refund. Yeah, but I would think that the type of people that are donating to me on here, that's not going to be an issue. 3 days is no issue. Satellites don't exist, do they? I don't think satellites exist. Do satellites exist? Does space exist? How do they stay up there? I've seen a lot to suggest that satellites don't exist, but I can't recall it. Lightbringer Yarun, it said £1.63 transaction fee. Oh, well, that's no fucking good, is it? If suddenly it puts the cost onto you. And that was friends and family. Oh, fookadook. No, I just keep using YouTube then. I don't know. I don't fucking know. We're learning. Thank you for the information, Yarun. That's thank you for the donation and thank you for the information. Let's give Yarun a bit of this. What Yarun will make of that. Oh, hang on, what happened there? It was meant to be this one as well. Hey! Sorry, Yarun, I don't have an emoji for an enlightened man. I don't have a Buddha sat on the top of a hill. Yes, definitely do a live with Steve and Tom. Okay, that's one vote. Right, the problem is that this isn't big enough for me to read the comments without bringing them onto the screen, so I could bring some lights, spack up. Treat yourself to an AeroPress, Tom. Great coffee press. So is that like a cafetiere? Quite happy with my little Vietnamese metal number. Seems to work pretty well. And it's great for traveling, it's only about this big. But that's all gone out the window now because I'm buying plates and bowls and all sorts. Like, I'm proper, like, dedicating myself to same route. Oh yeah, so thanks to Jack and Mickey and all the amazing people that donated last night. I bought a beautiful new ashtray that's got walls, because with fans, ashtrays don't work very well. They bought a plate and a bowl. I went crazy. It's buffering, oh shit, that's a shame. Oh well. Not much I can do, and I know you're a drama queen, so can anybody that's not quite so dramatic tell me if the buffering is worth mentioning or not? On the processed food, what are the chances of boiled potatoes after a good baking session? I think that's trying to be funny. Right, Lauren's dirty secret. She keeps going to rock gigs. Oh, okay, so it is quite dirty. It's loud, but I wear loop earplugs. This music is passionate. A lot of lyrics are about liberation from the system and rebellion. So, right, so let's give some context. So Lauren was saying that she was in a hotel. So I asked her, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you in a hotel? And she said, I don't want to tell you because I'm scared you'll think I'm a demon. And then she did admit it and I missed it. So my initial reaction when I saw it back on the replay and she said, I've been to a concert, was great. It was like, yeah, okay, of course it's what plebs do, and of course you're going to be around a load of plebs, and it's not what I do because I'm way too enlightened, obviously. But I wasn't, you know, if she'd have just said I'm in a hotel because I've been to a concert, I wouldn't have batted an eyelid. Because I know that people are plebs. And what I mean by that is, are they pressed and coping and doing external things to distract themselves? Of all the ways to do that, I think a music concert is actually one of the less repressed ones. And there is positive elements to it, and it can evoke feeling, it can evoke emotion. But then she said it's rock. Now rock is just, you know, Satan's music, isn't it? Not that Satan exists, but we'll use that term. You know, not as much as rap is, but I think rap was like a precursor. Sorry, I think rock was a precursor to rap, where they started making music aggressive and disgusting. She says it's about liberation and stuff, which, of course, with certain bands it may well be. But is it more like woke liberation? Now, I don't think they're going to be singing about chopping your penis off, don't get me wrong, but I think it will be, you know, like right, tell me this, Lauren, in your judgment, what percentage of the people are leftists in that audience? I think it's going to be 80%. I could be wrong, I could be wrong, I could be wrong. But I think it's going to be like, fuck the system, bring in communism, is going to be the energy of that room. Not fuck the system, let's all do the self-work and become sovereign beings that the government can't control. I think most of the people in that room are going to be libbies. So then you've got to say, ask yourself, what energy are you in and what are you partaking in and what is the ritual aspects of it? And I think you'll find all of that is not serving you. However, you are still a fat pleb who needs to bounce around with other fat plebs and be distracted with other fat plebs. So, you know, of all the ways to do that, I don't think it's too bad. But I would fucking hate it. But of course, you're not an enlightened guru like I am, so that's, you know, fine. What's Josh saying? Thanks, Tom. I've tried both vegan and paleo, wow, to an extent. I've come to the conclusion that paleo is probably the most natural, but the experts can't seem to agree. Vegan doesn't seem natural at all. Yeah, I think vegan is ego, in most cases. I've opened back up to it recently, actually. You know, Lee is vegetarian, and you'd have to watch the video that Lee and I did on it to, you know, I can't really speak into it, but it's not about morals, it's not about stances, it's just about openness and trying and inquiring and seeing, and Lee found that through that inquiry, I'm just going to say it's worked well for him. Not veganism, vegetarianism. But obviously most vegans you'll meet are doing it purely out of ego and virtue signaling. Yeah. Eating animals, in one sense, seems very natural, but in another sense, absolutely feels abhorrent and makes no sense at all. I mean, but then, like, I've just pulled apart a load of guts for my cats. And like, obviously when I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, this is disgusting, but also at the same time, I don't know, am I just desensitized and pulling guts apart should be absolutely disgusting? But I'm desensitized, or actually, am I a carnivore? And pulling guts apart is completely normal. I'm not sure. But my opinions on diet are worthless, mate. Caluso, very slow tonight. What's going Okay, so let's try taking that off the screen. Oh God, how do I do that? Oh right, hang on. So why has that disappeared? Oh no, I don't want that one. That one's useless. Right, so... Okay, thank you, Drew. Much appreciated. For those that are joining us, you can now super chat via PayPal, but we're not sure if it costs you money or not. It seems that it costs you more money. But you could just make your super chat less because I'm not giving 30% to YouTube. So overall, it is still definitely the better system if you can be asked to use it. If not, just chuck it into super chats or don't and just chat. Wow, I'm at the bottom of the chat. This is really crap. What's going on, guys? Oh, it disappears when I click on that. That's no good. I need to be able to see that. So I'm going to have to make this smaller. Why is this so much harder tonight? Oh yeah, I'm trying new tech. That's probably why. Now, what's going on here? Oh shit, how am I going to do that? Oh, okay, like that. And then I could move this here. Is it still going to disappear there? Right, let's move that there. And have that down here. That a bit further that way. Right, and then if I click on this, right, fan on it, so we click on that and that stays there, but now I can't really see the screen. Hey Fran, thank you very much. I'll be with you in a minute once I've stopped spazzing out. Oh God, this is hard work. This is really hard work. Well, I say that. It's not working in a factory or on a building site, is it? Ah, it's a fucking nightmare. I just can't stand it. I just can't fucking stand it. I just can't stand it. Can I read the comment section? I think my eyes are getting worse. I don't have PayPal. No problem, fan. Why does one not have PayPal in 2026? Is it a anti-one world government Elon Musk thing? It took me ages to get it. I just saw no need for it. I didn't get it until, I mean, I think I've had one for 5 years, but I've never used it. And I couldn't get back into it, hence why the email is different to my normal email. Oh, that's not my email, that's my name. But you can use that, or you can use tomgreatfix2@gmail.com. I couldn't even get back into it. So I had to make a new one for the purposes of YouTube. So yeah, I'm with you, fan. I don't use it either, it's bullshit. But if it means I can bypass YouTube's tax, then great. But of course, if you don't use it, then please do keep super chatting. Thank you very much, fan. It's very much appreciated. You're not going to get any stickers because it's fucked. The stickers have gone. I can't see the stickers anymore. And to bring them back is just going to make me want to jump out of that window. Thank you very much, fan. That's very much appreciated. Paint it black. Yeah, this is crap. Oh, this is a real problem. Now, why can't I get that to just stay on the screen? Because I need to move this over. But that means that that's going to disappear. Right, I could bring that onto my laptop, couldn't I? That's what I could do. Whoop, yeah, boom. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I just love that Dream was my first ever PayPal donator. That's so cool. So I think my eyes have got considerably worse in the last 24 hours. Or maybe I just smoked too much last night. Paint it black. Paint it black's been around for ages. Hey Tom, hey, how are things, Tom? Think I got as much hate for donating and people questioning my service, being angry for days about it, my brother. Hope you're okay. Had one guy said I could not fight sleep. Could not fight sleep. I don't even understand what he's trying to say. I mean, obviously it was a retard, so maybe we're not supposed to understand. But yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how jealous they are and how much they get angry when they see someone they're jealous of being supported. That's crazy. Funny though. Thanks for winding him up, Paint It Black. Obviously, thanks for the donation, but I think the even better part of it is that you wound up with plebs. Because I just think that's the highest calling in life. All right, Rachel, let's give you a chance. Are you going to behave tonight? How far down the bottle are you, Rachel? Lee said that he, oh god, it's 11 o'clock, she's going to be shit-faced. It's half 11, she's going to be absolutely shit-faced. Lee said, it seems like she's managed to write a paragraph. All right, let's give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. Lee said that he doesn't eat meat due to the fear factor. He didn't speak about fear, Rachel. There's no point me reading anything about you watching one of these videos because you managed to make up an incredible story with the other one where he was talking about a domestic between a man and a woman and you and her, you know, doing acts of self not goodness, harm, and spreading it all over windows. And he mentioned no names. And you assumed it was me. When he was clearly talking about a woman. I mean, my God, like, just so desperate for drama, you're literally making shit up. So there's no point me reading anything that you say about these videos. You clearly can't understand them. And the fact that you're using the word fear to describe what Lee said, what's the point? Pointless. It's okay, I'll live without the stickers. I thought you'd probably be able to cope, Fran. Hello, who are you? What are you doing here? And what you got to say for yourself? Please join in the chat. What do you guys think of the new camera angle? Is it better? I feel like I'm looking at you less. I feel like I looked at you more there, but it's clearly a better camera angle. We have one asleep pussy. Also, CT7's miserable now. He doesn't play anymore. So I think we're going to need to get some more pussies to entertain you guys, because you know, I'm not sure if I can do it. Fucking hell. Also, at the bottom of the chat, food is the ultimate conscious, unconscious, spiritual journey. This is Pedro. Everyone is different, and you have to test the water to find what suits you. I've got no problem with cooking meat or meat eaters. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Josh has chucked in the 5. He's off to bed. Don't compare yourself to Lee. Your content is amazing. I always look forward to it. Enjoy the day. Cheers, Josh. I really appreciate that, mate. I don't think, I mean, I think obviously the title of the video might suggest that, but I feel like it was very clear in the video that whilst I notice a part of me, it's not that I want to be competitive with him or that I even compare myself to him. It's more the competition of that is created through scarcity. So the competition of business or the competition of two people offering a similar service, even though, you know. So it was the threat of competition more than me being in competition with him. Yeah, the competition came in purely from a material aspect. Not from a me wanting to outdo Lee or even having a concept of outdoing Lee or wanting to be better than. I'm not saying that you're saying that that is the case. It is just how it's worded. But I think, obviously, I think you got the video, Josh. And I really appreciate your sentiment. It's just I like to speak into things as deeply as possible. So yeah, that was where the competition came in. Oh, in fact, you just said compare, but compare is competition, so yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Josh. Big love, man. Any closer to booking tickets to Thailand, or are you going to bed? So answer that in the next live stream. Lauren, what do you think about my reflection of your demonism? I think Ian's not very good. Let's give him a chance. Yes, angle is good. All right, okay, he's giving me information. Nice. But don't stare too much. It makes you look a bit like David Copperfield. Oh, if only I knew who David Copperfield was. Does he look like a Mong? If he looks like a Mong, that's really funny. So when you say stare too much, do you mean this? You mean monging out like that? Wow, I thought the PayPal would be a bit more popular. Caluso! Lee seems like a cool guy, man. Saw your video about jealousy of Lee taking your subs. It's not what it was about though, was it? Is that really what people think? Somewhere out there is someone more enlightened than Lee. No one puts all eggs in one basket ever. Yeah, totally agree. Jealousy. So what I don't get, Cluso, maybe you can help me with this one. Do people watch the video and listen to the video? Or do they just go purely on the title and the thumbnail and whatever content of the video is makes no difference? Because I would have thought that it's the video that matters, not the title and the thumbnail, in terms of how you would respond to the video. And I think it was very clear in the video that I'm not jealous of Lee. I'm in awe and honour and delight. They're the three words that would come up when it comes to Lee. Definitely not jealousy. And I didn't even put jealousy in the title. But I did acknowledge a part of me that, it wasn't jealousy, it was fear. And a thought of not being good enough. And I suppose there is jealousy in that. But I'm surprised you've used that word. Because obviously I have great respect for you, and I know you will have understood the video. So this is what I see in the plebtars, is they comment based on the title rather than the video. So can you just speak into that a bit, Cluso, and why you worded it like that? As an interest into psychology more than anything to do with you. We've got another Josh into the chat. Hi, Josh. Are you as generous as the other Josh? But I know you know this. Well, no, I'm confused. I want more information. All right, let's give Rachel another chance. Oh, it's obviously me that's got the problem, even though she doesn't understand the videos and comments like a retard. You obviously have a problem listening, Tom. Oh my God. Right, guys, so this is just the best example of projection. I mean, almost every comment is on my YouTube is a great example of projection. Like, we're literally projecting all the time, and that could be love as well. Like, we project at internal. So I literally just spoke to her about how she completely misunderstood Lee's video and couldn't listen at all, and then she comes back, you obviously have a problem listening and retaining information. So she's literally projecting one of her biggest things. Oh my God, I hate this woman so much. She's telling me to watch the video back with Lee about eating meat, and you'll see what he said. Wow, how dare the shit on the shoe speak like that? It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible. Wow, this woman has got no chance. No chance, no humility whatsoever, no self-introspection, no self-observation, no awareness, no chance. Wow, disgusting. I know you're not jealous, but those small feelings are deep inside of you and in all of us. Yeah, there you go. And I probably did. I definitely spoke into that. I'm just not sure if I used the word jealous. But that would have been appropriate to describe that 20% part. Fantastic, Cluso. What a man. I think both can be true. Always the case. Well, both are true, not can be, I find. Like, there's elements of truth in all sides of the spectrum. And elements of retardation. But I observe this and feel separate to it. I went on my own, and I think myself and the plebs can be in the same place, but for different reasons. Yeah, I love that, Lauren. That's great. Yeah, that's just great. And then, of course, the paradox is you are vibration and energy, and you will be picking up the vibration around you. So, of course, there's also distruth in this. But I really honour that. I really respect that. Okay, people, we can confirm that Lauren is not a demon. And we're going to approve Lauren's actions with some hearts. Lauren, we have decided as a collective that you can keep going to gigs and not be a demon. How does that make you feel? No Hart or Riley tonight. I think it's a bit late for Hart. And we haven't seen Riley for 2 streams now, so maybe I made too many jokes about giving her one. But I think she was good with that. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure she'll be back. I don't think she's one to flounce off and get triggered. But we shall see. Oh my God. I need to get these to change this. Okay, we're back on track. Hang on, no, I want to be on the TV, not the laptop, so back we go. Lauren, wow, I'm so relieved. I hope you're taking a piss, Lauren, because obviously my opinion means absolutely nothing, and you are free to do you. I'm sure you're taking a piss. What fun that was. Thank you for sharing with us and having some fun. I would said it was jealousy too. Jealousy is the fear of someone taking what you have. The video was about you recognizing that. Well said, Marky. I'm wrong. You and Cluso are correct. Very good, very good. Marky, are you the Marky? I'm pretty sure you are. There's a Marky who has started leaving fantastic comments in the comment section. Who is, yeah, if I remember right, these comments have self-reflection in them or are thanking me for the content that's helping him self-reflect, something along those lines. Basically, I'm really enjoying reading Marky's comments and they make me think, ooh, this is worthwhile, even though it's only got 700 fucking views. I thought that was a really good video. Not even got 1,000 views. I suppose jealousy is only bad when you start treating the person you're jealous of in a bad way. Yeah, but what about the internal? So that's the external, and I'd agree with that. But what's it doing to you? How does jealousy feel? And what's it repressing? So obviously jealousy sits on top of something, and that something is fear, and fear of not being good enough, and maybe the truth of not being good enough. Because the fear has repressed you so much that you haven't taken the risk and you haven't started your own business, for example, and you've taken the office job instead. So therefore, you're currently not being aligned. Good enough is obviously a stupid sentence. You're not being aligned currently if you've done that. So I would, as always, turn the finger around. So I agree with you if your finger's out there. But if you turn the finger around, which is obviously much more important, what's that jealousy doing to you and what's it covering up inside of you and what's on the other side of that jealousy, what gold is on the other side of the dark is how I would look at it. I am taking a piss, but also I do value your reflections, of course. Yeah, I know you do, Lauren. I don't feel like that was even really a reflection. I mean, it's just a fucking gig. Do what you want, live. But I think, you know, everything I pointed out is worth feeling into and seeing if there's anything there for you. But yeah, at the same time, just keep bouncing around like a fat goth. I love the fact that I can take the piss out of your belly, love, and it doesn't bother you. And I've got one too, so it's all just affetite bellies. The fact you have to gift to help empower others is a gift on its own. The fact you have the gift to help empower others is a gift on its own. Yeah, is it a gift or is it a muscle that's worked? I think there's an element of gift to it because I think there is something in this young soul, old soul thing. But again, that's not a gift, is it? If that's true, that means it's been developed over many years and it's all experience. Gift. You have the gift to empower others. I mean, yeah, it's just semantics, isn't it? Because you could say that every gift I've been given by the universe, so challenge, because the gifts come in the forms of challenges. They come in the forms of humiliation and embarrassment and shame often. So every gift I've had, oh fuck it, I'm getting too lost in words and semantics, but then no one's commenting, so I might as well. The gift you have to help empower others. So yeah, so I've been given gifts, but I've leaned into the gifts. I've done the opposite of Rachel and leaned in instead of leaning out. So then it's not a gift, it's something I've worked at. I think my issue with the word gift, whilst I agree with it from one side of a paradox, is that it implies, it reinforces a spiritual ego. And it implies that some people, you know, there's this concept with awakening, like, you know, you hear stories where people are like, and I just woke up and a thunderbolt came down and it kind of implies this look to it and this it's of the mainstream. It's like the same like anyone can get the big C, and it's not really to do with diet and exercise and all that, and whether you do this. It's kind of like that. It kind of makes it random, and in my experience, it's definitely not random. It's work. It's dedication. So yeah, it's just semantics, man. I'm getting very fussy about Cluso's comments tonight. I think it's because he's so good. So, the fact that you have the ability, let's just try ability instead, see if that feels better. The fact you have the ability to help empower others is a gift on its own. Yeah, I would just change that first gift to ability and then I'd be totally in. No, I don't hate you, Rachel. I hate delusion. I hate lies. I hate repression. But I don't hate the one that carries those actions or emotions or ways. I don't hate you as an individual, but I hate how you show up in life. Where's Debbie? Not sure. She's always on here. Debbie, where are you? I've been texting with Debbie today. Debbie's maybe having some Debbie time. The song at the end of the Tom Greatest video was created by Debbie, so if you want to know where Debbie's at, then you can listen to that song. Because to me, they're basically just the same. So, jealousy or envy, I get mad, so this is maybe the interesting bit. I get mad at others who have and then don't help others. Have what? So if you're talking materially, well, that's totally standard. I imagine you're talking materially. Because the type of, let's just say personality doesn't exist. The type of way, you could say character, but the type of way that is required to amass big amounts of money tends to come from fear. It definitely comes from scarcity and lack, so fear. So if one is in that energy, they're very unlikely to be giving. So the two pretty much go hand in hand. Of course, there's some exceptions to this. And there's some people who have experienced wealth who might come with that energy. Is my feet at the front of the live a problem? It probably is, isn't it? It's probably actually people that wouldn't watch because of my feet. Fuck 'em. What do you think though, guys? Do you think it's obviously not a professional move, is it, to put your feet in front of a camera? Fuck's sake. Fuck it. I'm comfy. But tell me what you think as well, because it's funny. So I think there's people who could experience wealth for a while and become giving, just through desensitization and lack of grabby energy. But they're a lesser percentage than those that will hoard forever and die with a massive pile of money or pass it on to whoever. So the context that I'm speaking in isn't wealth, is it? It's experience. Some would call it wisdom. Some would call it, well, it's definitely not knowledge. They'd only call it knowledge if they don't get it at all. Some would call it wisdom. Some would call it enlightenment. And that's not me saying that people think I'm enlightened, but it's enlightenment. It's you know, I'm acquiring it. I'm not finished with it. Well, anyone who's truly experiencing that just wants to pass it on more than anything, because you realize there's nothing else. And it's part of your journey too, because you're learning to trust and love and become oneness. So why would you not want all the other shards to become oneness? Because you are them. You know, it gets to a point where there is no separation. And intellectually I'm there. So so you can't not pass it on. And to not pass it on would affect your own journey. So it's not even selflessness, it's still got elements of selfishness to it. So yeah, Pedro is talking about material, which is obviously a completely different thing. Yeah, I mean, you're judging people, you're expecting, so I assume you don't have material wealth, and there's a reason for that. You don't have the traits that somebody that gains material wealth has. And obviously a lot of those are negative, a lot of them are positive too. But you know, you don't have the fear and the scarcity levels that somebody who amasses a big pile of money will have. So you're projecting your value system onto someone who's got a completely different value system. So again, that's not making you wrong, but it's just ridiculous. You know, it's just like expecting people. Yeah, it's just not understanding psychology and understanding why people do end up amassing a big amount of money and what's playing out in them, and only seeing it as jealous, as selfish. Whereas really, you know, these people are deeply in fear. These people only feel saying that, but it's just not deep enough for me. It's just not well thought out enough for me. It's just a bit too much of a projection for me. But I still love you, Pedro. Caluso, you've helped a brother, Lee. I'm sure if Lee's channel becomes a big platform, he will return the same favor. Oh, absolutely, but also he's already given me way more. I mean, I kind of see it. I just did it because of everything I said in that video, because it's just the right thing to do and it's for the good. And it's of trust and not fear. Ultimately, that's the only thing that needs to be said. It's of trust and not fear. But if we're going to take it down to a practical level and who's given people what, then Lee's given me, you know, more than any human ever has. So, yeah, it's a small offering of repayment on my behalf. So yeah, I've given him a YouTube channel, clients, and a camera. Is that enough for the spiritual slaps he's giving me? I don't know, but it doesn't really work like that. Because, as I say, once you get to the position I'm in, all you want to do is, yeah, not where I'm at, because I still notice scarcity fear, and I still notice parts of me that want to hoard. When I gave him the camera, I noticed a part of me that didn't want to give him a camera, so I'm not fully there. But when you get to where Lee's at, all you want to do is give to others. And of course you want to, well, I'm not going to put words into Lee's mouth, because I'm not sure where he is with this actually, but yeah, of course, yeah, I'm sure I'm right in saying that he wants to be on his back, but I'm not sure that that looks like what we would understand it as, like money or material. I think Lee would be doing everything he's doing for me, for self, for oneness, even if I had never given him anything material. I think as long as I was listening, growing, and leaning in, and not resisting. So he, obviously Lee's done everything that you've seen tonight, the PayPal and changing the camera and all that. And at first, Lee was up every night helping me with my tech, or more, I would say not even helping me, he was pushing me with my tech. Obviously he was helping me, but it was more, forcing it on me was too strong, but like strongly helping me where maybe I didn't want to be helped. And in his words, the toys started coming out of the pram. So basically, I haven't seen him, tech-wise, I haven't seen him for 2 weeks, or maybe 10 days, maybe a week, probably more than a week. And when I went down last night and tried again, he was like, you need to do this, this, and this. And he went, I did try to show you this, but the toys came out of the pram, so I backed off. And I was just like, yeah, you're dead right. I was disrespectful, you know, I was getting angry with him when he was just trying to help me. And I was getting angry with the technology and projecting it onto him. So he just walked away. You know, we carried on doing everything else that we do together, but he just didn't mention tech until I came to him. So, you know, very stoic and very boundaried. Why am I talking about this? You helped Lee. So I think I'm trying to give you an example of how Lee will stop helping and why Lee will stop helping. But then once you're ready to receive again, he's totally open again. I think that's what that was all about. You will inherit money. No, I won't. When your parents died, Tom, unless they've written you out of a will. God, she's just so presumptuous. Wills and inheritance aren't going to exist by the time my parents die. Within 5 years, there'll be no inheritance. I mean, Labour are already talking about 100% taxes. And Neil McCoy Ward did a breakdown of a high-earning person who died, and basically the government are now taking 90% of the money. So yeah, that's not going to exist. And that's even assuming I don't get written out of a will. You know, that is a possibility. At the moment, I don't think it is, but at the moment, that's, you know, at the moment I am in my parents' will. But as my mum spends more time with her grandchildren and less time with me, their pot goes like, so my mum always promised that it was 50-50 between me and my sister. That was, you know, what I was told growing up. That was just obviously the way it was going to be. She went mad at her dad when he didn't do that. She thought he was terrible. And then she has grandkids and that all changes. And suddenly, I'm now splitting it with 3 other people. But it's all irrelevant because they're retards who won't do, I can't remember what you call it, but ways to protect it. What is it that all the rich people have? Oh my God, it's completely gone. But you know, that way of having money out of the system, basically, that anyone can do, and it's very easy. She won't do any of that because, you know, she's a pleb. So, and it's just not worth me even talking to her about it. Like, you know, I tried to get her to read a book to not poison the grandchildren that she claims to love so much, and she wouldn't even do that. So I can't possibly get her to watch a Neil McCoy Ward video on her pension and her inheritance. So I've just thought, I just don't care. I've just written it off. It used to be like a big coping mechanism for me, like when I would plan, when I was hoarding and when I was in scarcity and when I had loads of money, I was like, okay, so I've got 300 grand, that can get me to 60, the age of 60, and then I'll get another 300 grand, or maybe $500,000 if the grandkids hadn't been born. And that will last me the rest of my life. And that used to be a massive thing for me, a massive coping mechanism, but nah, there's going to be no inheritance by the time my parents die, that's for sure. Are you still kidding yourself? Oh yes, Rachel, of course she is. Oh, glad to have you here, Painted Black. Long time supporter. I'm not totally clear on who. Oh yeah, no, I am clear. You're the guy that bought me a beer in San Cristobal, aren't you? I'm aware that you've been on the channel for a long time, but there's just another person that I get you a little bit confused with. But I'm almost certain you're the guy that bought me a beer in San Cristobal. Can you confirm if that's the case? Yes, we're very blunt around here, Josh. There's no messing about. There's no people pleasing. There's no niceties for the sake of niceties. There's honouring and love, but there's no niceties for the sake of niceties, because that's, you know, why the world's so fucked. So we cut all that crap out, and then we end up with only the good ones left because most people can't handle it. It's called cutting the wheat from the chaff. Did I say that right? Right, I'm going to put the kettle on. Oh, hello. You haven't sat on my lap for a little while, have you? Oh, it's nice to have you there, Mrs. ET7. Oh, well, I was going to put the kettle on, but I don't really want to disturb CT7 because he hasn't sat on my lap for about 24 hours. Those spiritual slaps are second nature from me. You've helped each other equally. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Cluse. That's a very nice share. It's been really symbiotic, actually, hasn't it? It's been really beautiful. Yeah, it's probably the most symbiotic relationship I've ever been in, actually. Like, the guy that I did the community centre was very wise. The guy that I created the community centre with was very wise and a fantastic teacher for me. But in that relationship, he was bringing over wisdom and I was bringing over money. So, you know, I'm thinking back now to my relationship with all the wise people, and there's always been some sort of dynamic of us both giving, but it's been much more extreme in terms of disparity of what it is we're bringing. So let me see if I can explain that. So he brings wisdom, but because I was so repressed and such hard work for a wise person to be around, I had to bring 200 grand to make that worth his while. Now we've got to a point where it's an Osmo 3 and a YouTube channel. So it feels like the disparity is a lot less now, and it's a lot more just flowing, and rather than a lot less manipulative. So I was manipulating him with my money, be my friend and give me your wisdom. Here's 200 grand to entice you. And he was manipulating me with his wisdom. Here's my wisdom, give me 200 grand. Whereas with me and Lee, it feels a lot less, it doesn't feel like there's any manipulation. Now, maybe that's just because I'm in it and can't see it. And, you know, the relationship I've just spoken about was 3 years ago, so I've had a lot of time to gain perspective on that. So maybe in 3 years' time, I will see some manipulation that was playing out between Lee and I, but I don't think so. I think it's just beautiful. I think it's just honouring. So yeah, Josh could have been talking to Rachel, not me. Rachel is as authentic and honest as she can be from her place of repression. So she is very deluded and very misaligned. So she doesn't speak much truth, but she is authentic and honest. That would be my assessment. She still believes in inheritance, though. All right, so this is why you're so lacking in responsibility. This explains a lot. I will inherit when my folks die unless they write me out and let my brother and sister have it all. Oh, okay, so this is making a lot of sense, Rachel. Why you're so lacking in responsibility and so entitled. Because you have assumed all your life that you don't really need to take responsibility, because it sounds like you have. The fact that you're bringing it up and talking about it, it's obviously not going to be an insignificant amount of money, is it? Well, don't be so sure about that. If you knew what was happening in the world, you wouldn't be relying on that. There's no point. Tom, what's your reasoning behind calling someone fat rather than showing curiosity? Oh, I just think it's funny. It's just a joke. Has it upset you? There's a judgment that fatness is related to unconsciousness and greed, but there's more depth to my body's journey. Yeah, there's definitely going to be more depth than just. I mean, you're projecting onto me now. You're assuming what I'm assuming. So you're assuming what my judgment is. Let's see if that's true. I love this, love, and wow, look at you being all brave and calling me in. What's your reasoning behind calling someone fat rather than showing curiosity? So obviously, if we were in a session, I wouldn't be calling you fat. I'd be showing curiosity. But I'm live streaming and trying to entertain people, and I've judged that you have met yourself deep enough to not get offended by my silly little jokes. That was my assumption. Tell me if that was correct or not. It looks like you may be a little bit offended. If so, I think I'm still fine with it. But I will stop calling you fat if I assumed that you were laughing when I was doing it, because you've called yourself fat. So I'm just reflecting back to you the humour that you have used yourself. But if you don't find it funny, let me know and I'll stop. There's a judgment that fatness is related to unconsciousness, greed. So that's your assumption on me. Fatness related to unconsciousness and greed. Yeah, I think I would say that's true, but I would also add, much more importantly to that, obviously it's self-avoidance and it's self-harm. So I'm much more interested in what emotion is being covered up and not felt due to the biscuit eating. So I wouldn't word it like that myself, but I also wouldn't say that's incorrect. But there's more depth to my body's journey. Yeah, totally. I mean, obviously, I would know that. Yeah, I mean, it's just like any coping mechanism, you know. It's escapism, and it's escaping self, and it's staying external rather than internal. It's exactly the same as any other coping mechanism. So of course there's a lot of depth to it. Wow, wasn't expecting that. Nice one, Lauren. Josh, I bet Lee is begging you to unblock Sophie, but I see she is commenting a ton of help me, I can't do anything shite all over his comment section. Yeah, I mean, this is what she does. So I think Lee would claim that he's not interested in analytics, but I don't know if that's true. So obviously I'm going to project onto Lee for my level of perception, and I'm very interested in analytics. And I know that, no, Lee is very interested. Right, so Lee claims that he's interested in analytics, as in he's interested in analytics, but not his channel's analytics. As in he makes out that he's not bothered about how big his channel is. Now obviously I project onto him that that's bullshit, because for me it matters, so I'm going to project onto him. But he might actually be telling the truth. He probably is telling the truth. However, my judgment, probable projection, is if it, right, I'm going to put the kettle on while I'm speaking to this. Is the only reason one would keep Sophie in their comments is for the analytics. So, yeah, I mean, Lee's got to have some shadow, right? I mean, maybe he is fully enlightened, but he's got to have some shadow. I mean, he's human. So I think he, and again, I'm probably projecting because I'm obviously coming from the only perspective I have, my own, and my own perspective is obsessed with being a YouTuber and the numbers and all that. Well, it's nowhere near as obsessed as I used to be. It's still a thing. So it's very hard for me to believe that someone could be YouTubing and genuinely not be. So for example, when he's reading Sophie's comments, obviously he's just thinking, oh my God, what a shit show. Or, you know, Lee's version of that. And I don't know why one would persevere. And obviously he knows all about her through watching my lives. He knows there's no helping her, there's no hope for her. Well, maybe, again, I'm putting words in Lee's mouth, and I shouldn't do that. Like, maybe Lee believes that there's a chance for everyone. But, you know, he definitely knows that she's, you know, very external and not self-observing, and not currently able to make any progress. I think that's safe to say. So, yeah, I can't help but think the only reason that he's keeping her in the comment section is for the analytics. Or, you know, his motto is, I will never say no to a soul. So unless one is intellectualizing and just being, like trying to intellectualize the depth of what he's saying and using it to just hate, criticize, not be open, then maybe he just would never block anyone. I mean, that's basically my motto. I mean, Sophie was on my channel for 2 years. I only blocked her when she started taking over the live stream and making me angry in the live stream and affecting the live stream, you know? And some might say for the better, like some people want to see me get angry, that's why they watch. But for where I want to go and want to be as a person and how I want the live streams to be, she was holding me back. And then, oh no, that's what did it for me, is when I realized that when I experienced Energy Vampire, like, fully, obviously I've experienced it all my life, but not really understood it or felt it deeply enough to be able to, like, recognize it in the moment. But when she did, what did she do? She did something. And I fully felt it. Oh yeah, I was trying to read her emails that she was sending me, and I was falling asleep as I was reading them. And I could feel all the energy getting drained out of me, and I was like, oh, this is what's happening with Sophie, and this is the sacrifice I'm paying for the analytics. This is the cost of the analytics. Obviously, it's not worth it. CT7, that's my position, but I am about to poo. Yeah, let's just go and poo. I'll be back in 2 minutes. No one's donating. What's going on? So there's a rather harrowing murder scene going on in my bathroom right now. So yesterday I filmed a butterfly that was really struggling in the bathroom window, and half its wing was missing, which I didn't really think was too strange at the time, but now I've just seen where the other half of its wing is, and I'm like, how has that happened? I'm going to film it. So this butterfly sort of somehow got half decapitated, wing-wise, not head-wise. And I was considering if there was any way I could save it in yesterday's English review, not yesterday's that you've seen, but the one that I recorded yesterday. And decided that there was no way of saving it. And now it's getting eaten by ants because it's dead. So it's quite a tragic scene. Life and its tragedies. Clueso. My dad was like that. He bought vegan butter. Oh my God, what a con. So bad for you. And tried to claim it was butter. I said, butter is dairy, so how is vegan butter real butter? Yeah. There's no such thing as vegan butter, and it's just chemicals. It's so bad for you. It's unbelievable. My dad uses margarine because he's got high cholesterol and has done for years. And I've tried telling him so many times. And well, you know, there's no point telling him because he just does what he's told. So I've tried telling my mum so many times. Still eats fucking Benecol and takes statins. It's just unbelievable. So much information telling you how that makes you brain dead and gives you Alzheimer's. Oh, and guess what? My dad's brain dead. Even more so than he was all his life. Like, he's proper. The last time I spoke to him, I just thought, oh wow, I'm never speaking to you again. Like, this is, you know, there's no, you know. Well, actually, he came onto the phone call, and as far as I'm concerned, he went, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Because what he did, me and my mum were having a deep conversation, by our standards. You know, my mum's pretty good actually. You know, for a normie, she's very good. And so we're having a relatively deep conversation. And he comes over, I hear, is that Tom? And he comes over his shoulder and he just goes, up the house, up the house, up the house. Which was him saying, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Because he knows, in his subconscious, and maybe even conscious. So my dad has spent his whole life doing this basically, like, how can I not be in any situation? How can I just be left alone and watch Sky Sports News? So he heard a deep conversation with his enlightened son. And freaked out. Was like, I don't want to get involved in that. I don't want anything challenging. I don't want him to ask me anything that might make me think. So he came onto the call and was like, how can I be the biggest spaz in the world so I can get out of this situation? Oh my house, oh my house. He's a blade. Not even a fucking, he's a fucking blade. He's a pig. What are you on about up the fucking house? But it was, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, energetically, it was his way of saying, I'm not going to be part of this conversation. I'm not going to be part of this conversation. Don't ever speak to me like this. Only speak to me about football. So I was like, okay, Dad. I'll never, ever speak to you again. And that's not with hatred or anything like that. It's just with acceptance and love. I mean, I send him a few racist memes every now and again, and obviously he doesn't respond. So it's like, this is how I communicate, Dad. Do you want to communicate? Racism. Let's start with that. Ooh, no. Ooh, no. Keir Starmer's a very good man. He did a very good speech the other day. Oh, did you hear Keir Starmer's speech, Tom? It was very impressive. What about the on the boats, Dad? Oh, yeah, but Keir Starmer did a very nice speech, and they need jobs. Oh, what? So England can support all of Africa? Have you done the maths? But they just want better things in life. Yeah, so do we. We don't want our daughters vaping. And there's a bit of a size disparity between Africa and England. I don't know if you've actually looked at a map or thought about this, but Africa can't fit into England, and it still remain England, and still remain having ability to give anyone any quality of life, let alone the. My name's Chris Black, former one paramilitary, paraguy in the military. Does that mean parachute person? They're like highly skilled, right? You don't get to be in the parachutes if you're, you know, well, maybe you do now, but back in the day, you didn't get to be in the para regiment unless you were pretty elite, right? Now it's probably full of fat birds with blue hair. I mean, Lauren could probably do it. It's full of fat birds with blue hair. Lauren, I hope you see the funny side. I'm really not getting at you. Can you tell me if you see the funny side? Where's Lauren? Oh my God, don't tell me she's flounced off to cry into her fat wings. Oh, Lauren, you're not crying into your fat wings, are you? Imagine if I trigger the OG, the one that's watched from day one, and she actually gets so triggered she unsubscribes. And it would be kind of hilarious, but also it would be very sad. Oh, I've lost my place now. Here we go. Calusa. I don't think my dad likes the idea that their son is more wise than him. Same for the mother also. They always treat me like a dumb kid. Yeah, it's really similar to my experience. I think they're starting... If you ask my parents who is the most intelligent person in the family, they'd 100% say Tom. But if you change that to wise or enlightened, they'd struggle because those words just trigger them. There was one time where my dad tried to get physical with me, saying, "You just think you're so much better than everyone," and I was just like, yeah. There's no think about it. I know. Like, just look at the shit show in this house. Look at how you behave. Look at how you eat. Look at how you think or don't think. Of course I'm better than you. It's just stating obvious facts. It's just being honest. Like, why are we all lying and pretending we're all the same? You know, you're not going to tell me that a Swedish person is the same as an African. Oh, actually you are, aren't you? Because you're fucking brainwashed and you watch the BBC. So the problem is you, Dad, and you being a fucking retard. It's nothing to do with me. It's basically how I responded. Yeah, really similar experience. I think this is a big thing for parents. Which again shows that love doesn't really exist. And it's all just cope and neediness and jealousy and fear. Why people have kids. I'm not saying that's the human way, but it's the way it is in 2026. That actually it's all just comes from neediness and validation and wanting to be loved. So much that people have kids for those reasons and then get upset and jealous of them if they don't perform. You know, if they better their parents and think, actually, meh. Then jealousy occurs because they never really loved them. It was all out of neediness. I think most people have kids because they're broken. And that's not me saying that that's the only reason you would have kids. In a different world where everyone wasn't traumatized, people would have lots of kids, of course, but they wouldn't be having them for those reasons. They would be having them out of love and wanting to just see growth and depth continue. Can't find Buy Me a Coffee on here, mate. Off to work today. Been working on my house today. My brother, awesome, man. You sound like a proper man, like paramilitary, yeah, proper man. I don't do the descriptions on live videos, but on all my other videos, you'll definitely find Buy Me a Coffee. Thanks for your support, brother. But right there is PayPal, and your name could come up on the screen and everything, and it would help me learn how to use this. Oh fuck, my PayPal thing's gone. So maybe people are doing it. Oh shit! How's that happened? 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. This could change everything because right now I will admit I can notice the part of my mind that is going, oh my God, I've got no donations. What the fuck's going on? So maybe people are, and I've just not seen it. No one has, apart from Jeroen. So far, Jeroen is the only person that has used the new Fangle Dangle PayPal link, which means that I don't have to pay 30% to YouTube. Yeah, I thought, well, I mean, it's just been a very bad stream for donations, so maybe it's just the energy tonight. So it's, yeah, I can't say I would have thought more, yeah, there's no point going into all that. Okay, let's just keep going and try not to let that bother you. I also can't fucking see tonight. Oh, coffee. I need more coffee. Jeff and apples walk the street. I was watching Jeff Berwick last night, guys. So good. So good. Oh, wow. I've still got 40 minutes of that. I must have fallen asleep. Great. It's the best thing every week. Jeff Berwick's Dollar Vigilante on X. Jeff's video. And then there's also a Wednesday podcast that I kind of... They're the two things that when they come out, and they come out once a week, I'm like, yes. Give it to me. Rub it on my face. Right now. Even if it's a fat person. Don't tell me Lauren's got triggered. That was so bad. Surely not. I've called her fat so many times. Maybe now she's only just got the courage to tell me. Okay. Oh, Marky, let's see what he's saying. Hey, brother, hope you're well. I think I was shadowed on the other channel for saying the R word. Wow. I can't quite work it out because there's a guy on YouTube whose whole thing is an American guy. You might know him. I think he's Eli, he might be called. And he's got about 50,000 subs, I think. Always smoking a cigar in his thumbnails. And his whole thing is retard maxing. Like his whole YouTube channel, like every single title. He did one video one day. Why is it doing that? He did one video where he used the term retard maxing and it went viral. So ever since then he's put retard maxing in his titles. And he gets good numbers. But it definitely affected things when I put it into my name. But then I used it in the last English refugee video, which is at 5 out of 10, so bang average. I'd be very surprised if it shadow bans commenters based on them using that word. I mean, I've never even come across the concept of commenters being shadow banned. It's not something I've ever even comprehended. I think my understanding, again, without much thought, so maybe this isn't, you know, the way, is that YouTube will just delete certain comments straight away or not let them through, or will delete them in hindsight based on words. But has it got a system to assess someone that just comments on videos? I wouldn't have thought so. I think it's more interested in the creators, but maybe. Let me know what you think, if you think that is the case. Yeah, I'd be very surprised. So what did you notice? What makes you say that? You feel that then your comments didn't get noticed like they usually do, or I didn't respond to them, or what did you notice that makes you think that? Jack's in the house. Hey, Upton, I'm just worried that this isn't fucking working. And that people are sending money. That would be really bad, wouldn't it? Let me just check my app. And I'm sure I do think it is working. But I'm surprised, because usually I get a lot more donations than this, so I'm just wondering if they're all on PayPal and they're not showing up. Your funds are on hold. Confirm your identity. Oh, great. Oh, you have £3.33 on hold. Recent activity. It's just Jeroen. Yeah. Okay, fine. Just accept it. Don't get upset about it. Don't have a tantrum. Jack, hey up. Having a fantastic day. For months, my family have been convinced me to buy a 7-seater. Oh my God, you've just given up on life when you buy one of them, haven't you? I hated it. It broke. Then I realized the universe is gifting me, not punishing me today. I upset them. I don't understand it, Jack. Can you break it down a bit more? I think it's me just being tired and demotivated. But, it broke. So you think there's a blessing in the breaking and realize the universe is not... What, does that mean you can get rid of it and buy a sports car? Is that what's happening? Can you break it down for me a bit more? Yes! I came home with a soft top and a massive smile on my face, happy me. Oh my God. Can you imagine how miserable you must have been if in your heart you wanted a soft top and you were driving a seven person people carrier. It's like the complete opposite. And this is what I mean by giving up on life. Like, I think there is something to be said for a man that wants to honour his family and give them the best transport, and you could genuinely want that and it feel good. But if you still have a connection to your hero, your inner child, your play, and you want a fucking sports car, even if you have family, then it's going to feel fucking awful. I love it, Jack. That's great. I would donate, but only got 50 in the bank till Monday. Absolutely don't donate then, Jack. You should never, ever be donating if that's the situation. I really appreciate all your support, Jack, but yeah, absolutely not. Some reason I can't comment on your channel. I mean, it's come up. So I'm streaming on 3 channels, so it could be that you're barred from one of them. You may have done something to upset me in the past and I've blocked you, but you can clearly comment on whatever channel you've just commented on. Shani, inheritance can be a dream killer. All my friends who got some and had help buying their homes gave up on their dreams of being artists and musicians, etc. They were never uncomfortable enough to try it. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, there's also the other side, the paradox that wealth gives you time, which allows you to do hobbies like this, but maybe in most people's cases won't earn a living. So there's both sides, and both are true. But you're speaking from the other side, and that's definitely true as well. That whilst I think more people will turn, yeah, I suppose it makes it more inevitable that it's only going to be a hobby, as opposed to the person that knows that that's their purpose and passion, and has nothing, and therefore has to make it work because they're not such a zombie that they're just going to give up and get a job. So yeah, I totally agree with you, but I also see another side. Right, so this is a person that thinks they can't comment. Oh wait, I can hear, just not on your Tom channel. Right, all I was trying to explain was likely triggered you is we externalize our insecurities and see things as we are not as they are. Yeah, so what I say in all my videos, but wiser. As in, I express it in a wiser fashion that makes more sense. So I'd be surprised if you triggered me. Now, there have been times where I've been super defensive, so I really don't think you could trigger me now. I'll take a photo of you and unblock you. So on Tom Gray Threats, you're blocked. So you'll, after, hopefully in the next 24 hours, you should be able to comment on Tom Gray Threats again. Yeah, I must have been going through a defensive stage. Because, yeah, you know, it takes a lot to trigger me now to the point where it's not even triggering, it's just honouring myself. You know, I mean, I'm not doing it enough. Like, I'm letting this guy. I haven't blocked this guy yet. Fine channel called Lord. I mean, he's probably. Oh yeah, now Lord of Patriarchy is a big hater of mine. In fact, I think he's the demon, so he's probably making videos about me. So yeah, it's definitely time to block this person. He's absolutely disgusting, and he just wants to cause trouble and wants to push videos done by demons that lie about me. Just fucking ridiculous, isn't it? It's so desperate and so sad. It's unbelievable. Okay, so where are we at? Lee has been a real blessing, bro. The cognitive dissonance will die down, and the more you recognise it's all reflection. Ah, is this? It's all factual reflection, and this knowledge comes responsibility. Are you the guy that used to email me right when I started YouTube in the UK? And there's always banging on about factual reflection, and I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And now Lee has touched upon it, so I think you're right. I'd be amazed that I ever blocked you, though, if you are that person. That makes no sense. So it might be that you just misworded the last comment a little bit, and if you are the person I'm thinking of, you're super wise, like way wiser than me. Ah, Tom, you have a way about you that does make me laugh. Not sure if it's how you word things or the way you say it or both, but it's great. Cheers, Josh. I think you just appreciate honesty, mate. I think you appreciate authenticity. I think you appreciate humour, which can only really be funny if it's honest and authentic. Mandy's late, but she's made it. Hello, Mandy. You're okay, my brother. Just made a cup of myself, but your chats keep cutting off on the live. I don't know, mate. I'll watch it back, and if it's a problem, I'll get Lee on it. But there's nothing I can do in this now moment. Well, I think I'm going to end it. My eyes aren't really working for some reason, and no one's donating, so I can't really motivate myself. I mean, I'm quite enjoying it, but my eyes aren't working. Money is a personality accelerator, but also a cheat code. The more you have, the more lifetimes you can experience. I mean, again, it's paradoxical, and there's two sides to this, like there is in everything. So yeah, that's true if you use it like I have. So I had money, and I used time to go on the self-observation journey. But many people use money to resist that. There's a guy, he's just moved out actually, but there's a guy downstairs, multimillionaire, and he's just moved out. I mean, he's in his 60s. He's just moved out to experience Vietnam. And I said to Lee, he's going to the cities, isn't he? And he went, yeah. He's spending a month in every major city. And I went, all right, we'll see him back here in 3 months then, because he's going to hate that. But then as we discussed it more, it's like, well, so basically he's using his money to resist meeting himself by going to bars and shagging girls every night. I don't know if he's doing it every night, that's an exaggeration, but you know, that's his lifestyle. And so yeah, it can be used in both ways, you know. It's probably more likely he's going to have a spiritual awakening if everything was taken away from him tomorrow, because he's using his money to avoid himself and masking the external. So it works both ways. Oh, mate, so C plebs who is good at this sort of thing. Like, we can take what C plebs says seriously, particularly on the 3D, on the third dimensional realm. So he reckons it buffers on one channel. He said this channel. Oh, that's handy. Cheers, C plebs. So he thinks it's buffering on either Tom Greatorex or English Refugee, but not today, Satan. Crazy. Status. Oh man, those things are mad bad for you. Sorry, statins. Those things are mad bad for you. Must suck knowing this and your dad not listening. Nay listening. Is that Scottish? Fantastic. Is it Newcastle? What is it? What's nay? Josh, I think I like you. I'm glad you're on the chat. I don't care anymore, mate. I've just given up. Like the jib jab was the one for me. You know, that I genuinely was so horrified by what was happening. I projected onto my parents that they wouldn't take it. I assumed they were going to listen to me because I was very passionate about it, as you can imagine. And I assumed that they were going to have a morsel of respect for me. And I think I made that assumption based on the fact that I couldn't cope with them doing it. I couldn't cope with... I shouldn't have done that. I couldn't cope with the reality that they were obviously going to do it. So I made up a story that they were going to listen to me and they weren't going to do it. So then when my mum told me that she'd done it, I had to go on a really big grieving process, because that basically, in that moment, it was like her telling me she was going to die imminently. Because whilst I still absolutely, well, I don't think it's even believe, I know that what she did is going to shorten her life, and I'm expecting any day for her to ring me up and tell me she's got the big C. In the moment, in 2021, I genuinely thought, and it did for many people, thought that it was like basically instant death. And obviously we've seen that is the case for many people. And obviously I was watching all these videos. So I had to go on a big grieving process, both for the loss of my parents, because for me in that moment they were basically dead. In hindsight, that wasn't quite the case, but certainly spiritually and emotionally, although they've always been dead that way anyway. So that was a big letting go for me, and that was a big process because I'd made up this story to cope that they were going to not do it. You know, obviously I had to look at that and look at my delusion and look at my attachment to my parents and what it does. It causes me to be deluded. So I had to really let go at that point and grieve them basically. Yeah, so now I'm at the point where, of course, I would much prefer they weren't poisoning themselves, but it just is what it is, and there's nothing I can do. Like I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, and I can't get through to them. And I've just accepted that now. And then there's also the reality that my dad's into his 80s. Like, he's probably ready to die. Like, he's done a very good job at life from his limited capacity. And I would say he has had quite an enjoyable life. As in, he was born in the best era. He's never had any money problems. He's had a mother as a wife. A mother as a wife. I did that the wrong way around. That's so funny. He had a great job, very easy job, worked 10 hours a week and got good money. Totally looked out on that. But he spends his life twitching like this and thinking about when the bin men will come, when it's 4 days before the bin men, because he's so desperate to think about something in the external. And he just is glued to the TV and sports. So so actually he's had a very miserable existence. He's never met himself and he's lived in complete anxiety. But from that place, he's done a very good job and made his life as comfortable as possible. So for my dad, life has just been about survival. It's just been about getting through it. So I think he's quite happy to pass over. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a bit of sadness when he does pass, but to me, he's basically already dead, or always has been dead. Now, my mum is a completely different story. That's going to be devastating. Tom, you don't need your eyes, Tom. Will you go on? Not for £2, but we don't do that anymore. I don't need my eyes. You are funny. I definitely think I need my eyes to live stream. How do I view the comments about my eyes? I really admire these live streamers that can do a 3-hour live stream without using the comment section. Who was I watching the other day? Oh my God, he's amazing. Our Everyday Lives, I think he's called. If you like Tom Greatrex and you're doing the work, you'll probably like this guy. Our Everyday Lives. Fucking amazing. Does these live streams without even looking at the chat. But he's channeling a message, not channeling. You could call it channeling, but he's not like one of these that pretends that people are talking to him or things are talking to him. You know, he's channeling. I am. He is I am. He's not channeling anything, he's it. He's amazing. I love him. So yeah, so he can just rant for an hour without needing any comments to riff into, but you know, he's a far better man than me. Wow, Paras are 1 under the SAS, so pretty early. Yeah, that was my understanding. Thanks for clarifying. Yep, you're right. They can have beards now. You're right, my brother. Paras. I mean, beards isn't too bad. So in your day, you couldn't even have a beard. Yeah, I mean, it would have been proper strict, wouldn't it? But I was thinking it'd be a lot worse than that. I was thinking women would be in it now and all that. No? Am I going to have to text Lauren and say, "Oi, fatty, are you having a process?" Josh had a pal in the military. Oh god, this has been a terrible stream, hasn't it? From every perspective. Rachel's coming in again with the 2, and Justin. Oh, fantastic. It's getting a little bit more. Oh, no, we don't talk about that anymore. Did your parents go back for the boosters, Tom? I think they've had 2 or 3. They've definitely had 2, and it might be 3. However, they no longer partake. So my dad stopped taking the flu shot. So they know. They are aware that I may be right. And I think if they had to gamble their savings on whether or not I'm right, I think they would go for Tom is right. Now. In fact, I think they probably would have done back then. The thing is, right, they never wanted a vaccine. They weren't scared. They didn't socially distance. They still had their friends around. They weren't like upset that I wasn't taking the jab or anything like that. They weren't scared of seeing me because I was unjabbed. Like, they were not that bad. But they are pathetic, weak plebs who aren't sovereign and can't stand up for themselves and can't honour themselves. So, the minute they said, you can get on a plane if you get this poke in your fucking flipper, then they... Have you seen that amazing comedy sketch that I'm copying? So good. Up to... And put the flipper out. Ka-ping! Okay, now you can go to the ball game! So we did that so we could get on a plane. So you know, very weak, very pathetic. But not ideologically driven to the point of total insanity. So now that they don't have threats hanging over them, like you can't get on the flipper bus, they aren't taking any jabs. And my dad used to take the flu vaccine every year. He stopped doing that. Because of what I've said, I think. So they have listened to a point, but not to the point where the minute a luxury gets taken away from them, they're just going to join the rest of the SEALs and flat their flipper out. Onk, 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 onk. Justin. Hey, Justin, how are you, my man? Tom, do you ever go out in Siem Reap with Lee? In Siem Reap with Lee? Lee doesn't go out at all. Other than to buy tea and Rizzlers. I don't think he even eats. I've never seen Lee eat. He never orders grabs. He never goes out. So I don't know how he sustains himself. Energetically, presumably. He doesn't eat. I mean, obviously he eats. I don't know. I've never seen him eat. And I know he's referenced the fact that he eats very little. I haven't really asked him about that. So Lee never leaves the house, other than when he runs out of tea. Because Lee is just being. He has no need to do anything. So when Michael told me he was a comedian, I said to Lee, are we going to go and see Michael next time he's doing a comedy act? And he just went, you can. So I am going to. On Wednesday night, Michael's doing a comedic performance. So I'm going to go out and socialise for the first time in the evening. Really looking forward to it, actually. I'm considering live streaming it, but I'm definitely going to record it. Probably not live stream it, I'll probably just record it. But I am considering live streaming it. That would be on English Refugee. So, there's 2 parts to your question. Do I ever go out in Siem Reap, and do I ever go out with Lee? Well, I very rarely go out into Siem Reap, other than to shop in the daytime. And by shop, I mean practical stuff, obviously. Stuff for my pussies. And, hey, pussy. And, so in terms of socialising, so Jamie and Michael socialise quite a lot. They even speak about Pub Street now and then. But they mainly socialise around like board games and yeah, connection that doesn't involve alcohol, I think. I mean, maybe alcohol is drank at the board games. I don't know. But so I've been invited to a couple of things by then, and I've smoked too much and been too self-conscious to go. But I'm getting more open to it, and also there's been my foot that's been an issue. So there was one day when I got invited to an event that I would have gone to, but I genuinely couldn't walk. And then the heat has been an issue, and that's getting less and less of an issue. I now have a well, I'll show it you another time. An amazing contraption that goes around my neck. You saw it actually in the last Tom Greatrex video if you watched it, but it wasn't filled with water. So I'm going to do a video with a guy that created it. It's an amazing piece of tech, and I want to try and get a referral link with him because it's amazing, and I'm going to talk about it in all my videos. Just because I'm going to talk about it because it's amazing, and people are going to see it in all my videos. So I might as well make it a sponsorship because I'm going to do it anyway for free. So. And there's no problem with me admitting that because it's not going to be, I'm not expecting him to pay me money. It's going to be like, I get £3 for every one that we sell through my YouTube, something like that. And also this man is clearly not manipulative. The man that's created them, I mean, one, to create what he's created, you've got to be, you know, enlightened. And also the way he communicated with me when I was getting it, and the amount of trust he had, he just left it here without payment. And it took me 3 days to find it, and therefore 3 days to pay him, which was probably bad on my part. I should have just paid him even if I couldn't find it. And there was no stress from him whatsoever. So yeah, I'm hoping to introduce you to Kurt. Kurt is called. Clearly a very interesting man. Oh, sorry, that was the last one. So do you ever go out and say a meep? So the answer is yes. I'm going to go out about 4 times a month, I think. That's kind of, that feels about right to me. I mean, any more than once a week would be horrendous for me. Now, when I meet the board game crowd, so when I meet Michael and Jamie's posse, it may be that I have such a great time and decide that 2 times a week is beneficial. But right now I'm still very repressed when it comes to others and socializing, and very traumatized from 30 years of trying to do it. And well, I was going to say I'm being rejected, but also the other side is true, I'm being loved. So like, you know, for me there's no middle ground. People either worship, and I don't want either of those things. I just want to meet people on a level. But that very rarely happens. I'm usually either pedestaled and worshipped or rejected and hated. So neither of those are good. So I've just thought, fuck it, I'll stay in my cave and smoke and wank. Okay. Right, I think we'll start bringing it to an end over the next 10 minutes. So if people could get live stream name suggestions in, I'd really appreciate it. Right now I might just call it a disappointing live stream, because I feel like it's been very disappointing in every regard, really. I think it's been crap. Now maybe that's just because I'm having a tantrum over a lack of donations, or maybe, but I feel like I've been crap. But I think the two things go hand in hand. Like, obviously it motivates me. I'm tired. I'm struggling to read the comments. I don't usually have that. So I think it's been a crap stream. So I'd like your feedback on that, and I'd like name suggestions for the stream. Unfortunately, there is a great deal of humbling for Tom to have to go through before I will feel able to see him as enlightened. Yeah, of course. Why is that unfortunate? It's just the path and the way it is. Why are you expecting me to be enlightened and not doing the work to become enlightened? It's obviously how it is, and if you are enlightened, you would know that. So you won't see it as unfortunate, you just see it as the inevitable, beautiful playing out. And it seems that you have some sort of attachment to my enlightenment, so that suggests that you're not enlightened. And you just have a good way with words. That's a ridiculous comment. You just exposed yourself, bro. Pedro, all shit labelled vegan is poison for the plebs, yes. I mean, well, let's just finish it. I home process basically everything, even ketchup. Was a chef for 12 years, if anyone wants to. So are you vegan, Pedro? You're so right about vegan food. I mean, it's all just soy and chemicals, isn't it? However, obviously, vegan food should be, should only, just like any other diet, should be what comes out of the ground. So I imagine, it sounds like Pedro is a vegan and only uses ingredients from nature. In which case, I'm open to it being a very healthy lifestyle for certain people. And I think it's about what vibration you're in. Like, I think, yeah, you do need meat at a certain vibration. And yeah, I think there may be a vibration where you don't need meat. And this is just think, I don't know. I used to be much more black and white about this and like, it's either this or it's that. But now I'm very open to different diets, assisting different people in different vibrations. Oh, bless you, Kerry. Thank you so much. Kerry is in the house and seeing that I'm still very materially driven and demotivated because of a lack of material driving in this stream. So she's decided to support me and try and bring up the energy levels within me a little bit. And I don't think she's doing that for her entertainment. I think she's doing that out of love. Because she is the Scottish Pixie, who is full of love. Thank you, Kerry. I love you so much. Bless Kerry. So yeah, I'm really keen on names for the live stream, my people. Why has that disappeared again? So if I click on this stream, that disappears. Well, that's fucking great. But I can quite easily bring it back up. Okay, I'm learning. Why can't I see? This is concerning. Do I need to get glasses? Now, Lee was talking about his eyes being bad, and I was like, what is that? We were talking about a monitor, and he was like, because I can't see his TV. And I'm like, yeah, but is that because you've got a monitor and you're just surrounded by screens all the time? And he was like, well, I've used screens all my life. And I was like, yeah. Is that why you can't see? And he was like, yeah, maybe. And I just wonder if, since live streaming, I feel like my eyes have got a lot worse. Wow, would I carry on doing it if I knew that was the case? Because I love it. But it's literally making me blind. Oh, that's really concerning. Is it live streaming or am I just having a bad day? I mean, it's got to make your eyes worse, hasn't it? The more time you spend in front of screens, of course your eyes are going to get worse. I don't think it's something I have to worry about. Like, I think I have really good eyes. So even if they do get worse, I don't think I'll ever have to wear glasses. And I don't really care about wearing glasses. It's not the physical. It's, I'm scared of having bad eyesight. Hi, Truthfinder. How are you? Oh my God, I'm really struggling. I tried to donate a few times and no link for it, my brother. What are you talking about? No link for what? PayPal? As in you can't just type that into the internet and you need a link, is that what you're saying? Can you explain a bit more? Can you be very precise? This is really important to me. Because obviously, that's concerning. But I just can't understand what you're talking about. So, what are you talking about? Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal? Please clarify that. And why can't you just put that in if it is PayPal? And where are you looking for a link? Are you looking just on this video? Because I've already told you that you won't find it on this video, but you'll find it on all my normal videos, so my non-live stream videos. But it's also right there on the screen. So can you please clarify for my learning what the hell you're talking about? He has enlightened perspectives at times and is articulate and intelligent, but his focus seems object, not subject. Maybe we could change that, bro. Well, what do you think my life's about? My life is dedicated to observing and opening. You could call it enlightenment, but opening and merging. I'm just open and my whole life is dedicated to this. So to say maybe we could change that, Bill, as if I'm not open to that, is just projection and nonsense. Like, if you had any wisdom about you and watched my content, then you wouldn't need to be projecting like this. You'd just be supporting and offering reflections that can help. Whereas this is coming with a competitive energy, this is coming with a wanting to do me down energy, so obviously that's a reflection of you. So what is it that you're not seeing about yourself? What is it that you're hiding from that's stopping you being what you're projecting into the comments? And why can't you just be loving and wise like Lee, if you are what you claim you are? Because you're not, obviously. I know that, but you know, I'm asking you so you can realize that. So what's the best way to thank you? Is it buy me a coffee so YouTube doesn't take a cut? Yeah. I mean, honestly, if YouTube is the easiest way, then just do that. That PayPal link up there is the best way to thank me. I get 100% of it. Now, we're unsure if it charges you or not. Jeroen said it charged him $137. So bearing in mind that Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon take 10%, if you're going to do £10, then you might as well make it £9 and pay that fee. And then I'll get the full £9. If you're going to do anything more than £10, then absolutely the best way is PayPal and just pay that fee and take it out of what you were going to give me. Thank you, Mandy, for considering supporting me financially. And we've got another one who is supporting me financially. Thank you so much. Hi, Tom, a coffee on me. Oh, it's Chantha. Chantha, can you tell us a bit more about you? Where are you from? And you will be loved no matter what, even if you're brown, don't worry. I love brown individuals. As a collective, not so much. Southeast Asians, not included. They're amazing. But the further out brown ones, I'm not so keen on. But on an individual level, I'm totally open. So even if you're a Pujit, if you're a good Pujit, then I'm in love with you. Pedro's not fat, he's big boned. Oh, she's back! I'm still here and I do see the funny side. Great, I'm not offended. Great. I'm the first to be honest about my flaws. Yes, you are. I just wanted to see the other parts of you that weren't just entertaining. Have you seen them? Did you get what you wanted? Tell me, if you haven't, can you give me a bit more of a clue as to what you judge to be the other parts? Did I hit the other parts? Did I hit the special part? That's great, Lauren. I'm so happy about that. I knew you would still be here. I was jesting into a possibility that I would have rated it about 5%. Been having a few beers, so this is my man painting it black, the para, and a tickle off. Honestly, those donations have made so much difference. I'm so much more motivated now. It really makes a difference. And I can see all of a sudden. No, I still can't see. A tickle off work tomorrow after reappointing a front of a house, building an artificial well. An artificial well? So just for aesthetics? Oh my God. How inauthentic has the world got? How pathetic has the world got? The people, they don't understand the value of a well because they drink tap water and therefore they're retarded because it's poison. Totally calcifies the pineal gland. And therefore they want a fake well. Because they have no connection to what a well actually is. It's just something that looks nice to them. In front of a house, lol, he knows how ridiculous it is. Oh my God, so this guy, let's just read it. Maybe he would be one of my full screws. Okay, I don't understand that last bit, but it's a fantastic comment. So this guy is really real. He's a fucking ex-paramilitary guy. Like, this is a proper man. And now he's been and I'm not criticizing the career at all. I think being able to build stuff is fantastic. But just the fact that he has to build fake wells for plebs. I mean, he must just be like, what the fuck? I don't mean what the fuck am I doing in terms of building and presumably being self-employed and all that. I think all that's amazing. But just the fact that he's building a fake well for a pleb, I must just be like, how is this reality? But I'm getting paid fucking 400 quid a day and I'm getting to create things, so fuck it. I'll create you a fake well, you fucking pleb. But my God, I'll judge you while I'm doing it. Is that about right, painting black? I think it's not just the donations, I think it's this as well. That's made me really happy. Rachel, can't use PayPal as I don't have it. May have to think bank transfer again, but phone won't. Yeah. So for you, just keep using YouTube. This isn't a like stop using YouTube. It's just a here's another option if it works for you where I will receive more. And I assume the majority of the people that are giving, you know, are doing it from giving. And of course there is also the attention element and the honouring element would be a better word. And the having your chat read out and getting my attention and all that, guaranteeing your question gets answered. But I think there's also a big element of giving going on. So I would imagine most people want me to receive the majority of it and therefore they will make the effort to use a PayPal. But that's not going to mean that I'm not grateful or judgmental of YouTube donations. So yeah, you do it however works for you, Rachel. And of course, PayPal isn't going to work for you. Yeah. Thank you for your support, Rachel. It's massively appreciated. I was commenting on Tom Greatorex. All I asked was how many are... All right, so this is a guy that thinks he was shadow banned for using the R word. How many R's are we upsetting tonight? The comment showed and then disappeared. I then commented without the R word and it didn't show to switch to ER. Very interesting. I don't know, mate. I'm learning just like you with stuff like this. And presumably it's always changing. Oh yes, YouTube do watch people's comments. Ages ago, I got a message pop up from YouTube asking if I want to still post a comment. I'm trying to write and send on normal comment section. All right, so it seems that people have similar experiences and are agreeing with you about shadow banning of the comments. Caluso, my man, ding ding. It'd be so good if it actually made a ding ding, wouldn't it? Awesome clue, so I'm not going to get any stickers up because they're old and boring. I need to get some new ones and it means that I lose things on my screen. Thank you, Cluso. Ding ding to you, my brother. Nah, nay, Scottish. Nay. Fucking love Scottish people. We seem to have a right Scottish contingency. We've got Kerry. Albus had an ego flounce, but I think she was Scottish. Then it's so funny, isn't it, how these people, it's very similar to Pete, my other, it's always a motivator. So they are super fans and love me, and then when I reject them, they become haters and they can't acknowledge that that's why they're a hater and they genuinely make it about me. And you know, they can't even say, you did this to me, so therefore I hate you. Like they start making out that my content's bad or that there's something wrong with me. So Pete has started saying I'm boring. Like he's gone from wanting to be my best friend and getting so upset when I didn't want to be his friend, that he turned into a hater, to calling me boring. So this is the level of projection these people go to. Like it's so, like how can Albus or Pete possibly deny that they became a hater because I rejected them? So they're hurt, you know, and that's why they're a hater. And they can't see it, even though it happened at the exact second. They went from a super fan to a hater at the exact second I rejected them, and they still can't see it. And they honestly tell themselves that, so in Albus's case, it's I'm not enlightened enough and I'm nasty or something like that. And in Pete's case, it's I'm boring. And it's literally the projection of them. Like Albus is nowhere, you know, Albus is a spiritual tadpole, and Pete is the most boring man in the world. I mean, it's just fascinating, but they can't see it. Like, this is how projection works. This is how delusion works. It's just amazing. So yeah, we've got loads of good Scottish people. I love the Scottish. I think Riley might be Scottish as well. And then we've got some really good Irish people as well. Have we got any good English people? We must have some good English people. Hendo, I've worked it out. You're toe cutter, aren't you? I didn't work it out. Lee worked it out. You're toe cutter, right? The hippie landlord actually has 6 identical tie-dye shirts. Have you seen that video yet, or are you making an assumption? I don't think I've released that video yet. Maybe I have. Are you basing that on a video? So, toe cutter, you've come back better. You've come back with humour. Of course, you still have your repression and projection, and you're still, you know, special needs. However, you've definitely come back with less hatred. So I want to honour that, and I want to give you a chance. I'm totally open to banter, and I'm totally open to piss taking. And I think if you could just meet yourself a little bit and stop being so hateful and pathetic, you could be a lot of fun. You've clearly got intellect. You've clearly got wit. So can you lean more into wit and banter and less into projection and hatred, and we will keep you here and not ban you again? Does that work for us all? Or do you just want to be a dick and get banned? Let's see if you can behave, little boy. And I will keep you in the chat. I'd like to keep you in the chat. And as Hendo, you've been a lot of fun. So let's keep this newer version of Tokota going and have some fun together. Ah, Shajalix, my non-hating hater. People are talking and saying that time has sped up since after 2020 and that 24 hours feels like 16. Is it screen addiction or is it temporal anomaly? I think that's a spelling mistake and I'm not just completely retarded, but also I can't actually say that word. A temporal anomaly, a temporal one-off thing caused by CERN. Oh my God. So what you're doing there, Shajalix, I love it. I think it's a really interesting question. But do you see how you're pigeoning it? How you're not open to all the possibilities, or you're not allowing me to be open to all the possibilities? Obviously, I'll just do it anyway. But so you're giving these specific possibilities when actually the possibilities are endless. So people are talking. Is it so? So you're saying it's two possible things: it's screen addiction or it's this. But I know you're not, because you're actually asking a question and you want an answer that gives all the possibilities. But I'm just trying to show you how a fixed mindset limits, because there's obviously a million possibilities, not just those two that you've mentioned. Those two that you've mentioned could be the reason. So first of all, we've got to assess, is it true? Because you are right, but many people are talking about this. And Lee mentioned it in the video the other day. I always hold it lightly when people talk about it. I acknowledge an experience. So when someone pointed out that it was a year ago since I met Stephen, I'm like, that's lifetimes ago. That's lifetimes ago. So that's the opposite of this, isn't it? If time was speeding up, that would feel like it was yesterday, right? Or am I being stupid? I think that's right. My head's not working this morning. But I think that's right. If time was going fast, then obviously a year ago would feel, yeah. I mean, I was going to say the sentence that feels like more than a year ago, but what does a year feel like? It's so subjective, isn't it? Is that the right word? That's the right word. It's not objective, it's subjective. Fuck me, I'm having the feet are going up, guys. We were 2 hours in. Fuck the live stream. Are you impressed with how clean they are? I cleaned them last night. I was very self-loving. I don't usually clean my feet. I got into bed and saw my feet were really dirty, and I was like, if I'm going to lie here all night, then my sheets are going to get dirty. And I got up and washed my feet. That's the first time I've ever done that. I've never even noticed before. I've just accepted that I live in filth. Something shifted. I think it's called self-love. So is it true? I don't know. I hold it lightly. Because I experienced both. I experienced weeks where it's like, Fook, how did that week go? And definitely when you look at the day, I mean, it's August now. Like, I'm sure we just had New Year. Definitely when you look at the month, it's always like, how is it that month? But then when I think about Stephen, that's lifetimes ago. That feels like years ago. Actually, it doesn't feel like it happened in his lifetime. I think that's mainly the self-observation journey and the fact that you die and rebirth so many times or transform so many times in the space of a year if you're fully dedicated to it and quite experienced with it, then it's rapid. I mean, I feel like I'm a different person to the one that arrived in Cambodia. I feel like I'm a different person to the person before the slap from Lee. That was a week ago. So it genuinely feels like different lifetimes to me. So I hold it all lightly, and I don't agree with this, but I also don't disagree with it. I think more is made of it because people talk about it, and then people are like, yeah, and then content creators are like, oh, I need to make a video today, I'll talk about that everyone else is talking about, and it just reinforces it. So therefore, I can't really go into what it is because I don't even know if it exists. But I think CERN is a really good shout, if it does exist. Do you think it exists? Presumably you think it exists. I think CERN's a really good shout. But then but again, that's coming from a third dimensional perspective. And now, I've never really watched Terence McKenna, but I know he talks about the universe speeding up and basically doing this until it, I don't know what he talks about actually. That was a bad example because I don't know what he says. But he definitely talks about basically, so I imagine poop would be popping back into oneness maybe. But I don't know because I've never read or listened to him. But I've heard people talking about him. Tom, the deluded dog abuser. Let's kill that gun. It's so funny. How can I be so misaligned from truth and honesty? It's amazing, isn't it, that people's will to judge someone so they don't have to judge themselves and to do someone down so they don't have to look at themselves is so strong that they'll just lie. I mean, I've never been able to lie. You know, as a child, I lied a few times out of manipulation and I just hated it. I've just always hated how it feels. So I used to, before I was conscious, or before I was consciously conscious, I would say I will use white lies. I always hated lying. I just found it so boring. But I used the term white lies, and basically the way I defined that was police or business. So manipulation, basically. It's not really lying, but I acknowledged that I had to manipulate staff. I don't know if that's true or not, whether one does have to do that in the mainstream world. I think there's always going to have to be an element of that because we live in a completely dishonest and manipulative society. And obviously that comes from the top, so it's very hard to be part of that system and not play into those energies. But once I became conscious and my goal shifted from money to trust, you could say enlightenment, but I think trust is a better word. I couldn't even white lie anymore. And when I do, when out of my repression, fear and defensiveness, my ego creates a lie, it feels horrendous, and I notice it straight away and take accountability straight away. So it's just, whilst I can understand psychologically why the pleb projects rather than looks at themselves, I just can't even find the words to express how much it shocks me that people are, I know they're not happy to, I know these are the most miserable people in the world, but are willing to live lying, saying that I'm a dog abuser, when it's very clear. Obviously what they're referring to is what happened at my dog crash with a staff member using his feet to protect a dog from another dog that was humping. Yeah, it's very clear in the article, but it's not me. And then if you are really interested, then you would find more articles where the RSPCA actually endorsed my business. And you know, also, it was 15 years ago. Like, who gives a fuck? Even if I did kick a dog, I kicked a dog the other day, and it's going to be on a video on an English refugee. After it killed my cat, I kicked it and called it a cunt. Are you going to spaz out about that? Are you going to call me a dog abuser because I reacted in anger after my cat had just been ripped apart? Okay, fine. But really, you're just not wanting to acknowledge the depth and beauty and wisdom in me because it reflects the lack of depth and beauty and wisdom in you. And it's very obvious for anyone who's done any work. You know, this isn't. I know to you it's woo-woo and you know because you're a spaz. But, you know, it's very obvious, it's very basic psychology. If you read any of the greats, Socrates, Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, Carl Jung, they will all say what I've just said. They'll say it obviously much better. But they'll all say exactly what I've just said. Like all these people that say, you know, plebs will even use Socrates as, you know, like they'll be like, when I talk about the reality of the shape of this earth, they'll be like, I'll go with what Socrates said. But they won't go with anything else that he said. And also he didn't, you know, Socrates didn't say that it's a fucking globe. He would have been philosophizing and discussing all sorts of possibilities. Because that's what philosophers do. They don't just go, I know this, and this is the way, because a teacher told me at school. You know, fuck off, you fucking retards. Right, where are we at? I think we've got some more love into the chat. So we had Cluso getting his ding-dong out. Then Jack has come in. You've already got 50 quid, Jack. What are you doing, mate? Tom, I forgot, I've got a reserve in my safe. So oh my God, this guy's so great. And just look at his profile picture. If you want to know how great this guy is, just look at that profile picture. That's actually him. Look at the joy and love in that profile picture. Look at the I'm not driving a 7-seat people carrier, giving up on life piece of fucking shit. And if I ever get bullied into it by my family, then the universe will fucking just take it off me, because there's no way this guy is meant to be driving a 7-seat fucking pleb wagon. Tom, I forgot, I got reserve in my safe, so I insist on spreading my joy. More shekels for your heart's desires, bro. Desires. Love you, man. Thank you so much. So, Jack, I went to the plate shop yesterday. It's very expensive. So, would you like to see what you bought me, Jack? You bought me a few things. Well, you didn't, but now you are. I mean, you did, because you inspired it. And then I also treated myself. Or you could say the rest of the chat bought these things. However you want to word it. But basically, thanks to you and the donations in the chat and just the amazement of life. In fact, I might smoke this. Yeah, I think I'll smoke this. Right, bear with me. I'm not sure if it's really worth it from the chat's point of view, but I know you'll appreciate seeing it. And right now, Jack, you're all that matters to me. So, let's just give that a little wash, because it's covered in coffee. Let's take this. All right, so Jack chucked in a $5 yesterday and said, go and buy yourself an artisan plate. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the one that I saw in your video. And he told me where to go. Now, he was wrong about where it was. But probably, I was thinking, from the footage, it may have, you may not have seen me travel. So you may have assumed it was all on one street. So I go to the artisan street where the chat tells me to go last night, because I couldn't think of this place. And the chat said it's next to the place where you got this fabric from. So I went there and I was looking for the shop that sells plates. And I was like, I don't even remember going into a shop that sells plates here. This makes no sense. But I was trusting the chat more than myself. So I'm going in all these shops and I'm like, there's no plates. What are we talking about? And I thought about it a bit more and I was like, green plates. Because Jack mentioned the green plate. And I was like, oh, I know where they're talking about. So it's nowhere near that street. But in the footage, it may have looked like it was a continuation, maybe. And the whole chat was saying it's on that street. So I reckon the footage made it look like it was. And there was another little synchronicity in it as well, because I went back to the fabric shop for the first time yesterday, and I walked in and I went, do you remember me? And they were like, ah. And I was like, your video came out yesterday. I forgot that I titled it like, All About Gayness. So I proudly showed them their video, and it's like taking a piss out of the man in the shop for wanting to lick my leg. But anyway, they don't care about that. They're just delighted that their shop's on the video. Well, I don't think they really realised that while I was there, so maybe they will care in hindsight. I'll find out when I go back next time. Although I won't, because I'll be too polite and nice to say anything negative. You could also call that repressed, of course, but you know, let's call it polite and nice. So I walk in and I say that and I show her the video, and in the coming up section is the cafe with the plastic sunflowers outside. Well, it turns out that's quite famous. And I actually went in it yesterday and I see why it's famous. It's incredible. I don't like it. It's for plebs, but it is incredible for plebs. If you're a pleb, you'll think it's incredible. So she goes, oh, Akpom Cafe. And I was like, oh, yeah. And didn't think anything of it. But this plate shop is next to that cafe, and I remembered that. So when I realised that you're all retarded and it's not that place, actually, more likely than that, the footage made it out like it was. Anyway, we've been through that. Sorry I just called you retarded. I love you all, especially you, Jack. I started thinking, I think I know where... Well, I gave up. So in the video, I give up. So yesterday's video is all about me buying a plate. It is interesting. I know that doesn't sound interesting, but it is interesting. It's a good video. It's a really good video yesterday's. 3 days ago, I filmed the worst video I've ever filmed. I don't know if I'm going to post it. I think I will post it. But I'm depressed and I don't leave the flat, and it's probably only 15 minutes long, and I'm just trying to create content. And it's terrible. So I'm able to acknowledge when one of my videos is terrible, but yesterday's video is not one of those. The video I recorded yesterday is not one of those. So, she's already mentioned this cafe. So in the video I give up, I say, sorry guys, I'm not gonna be able to get the plate today, I'm exhausted, and I don't know where this place is. I know which place it is, but I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to chat to AI, I need to go home and smoke. We'll try again tomorrow. And then I remember that she's acknowledged this cafe in my video. So I go back into a shop and I go, that cafe in my video, can you put it into my Google Maps? And she does it. So then we're back on track. So then we go to the plate shop and we stop off at the cafe and I show you inside the cafe, which is really interesting. Well, not really interesting, but it's an impressive business that I'll never ever go back to, but it is very impressive. And then we go on to the clay shop. So, how much do you think this cost? So in the shop, this costs $18. It's clay, it's handmade. It turns out the place is a social enterprise and everything is made by deaf. And I've done it again, haven't I? I never use my THs when it's a fucking TH and I use it when it's an F. By deaf and dumb people. And some that can't speak. I just couldn't resist. So that's £18. Dollars. However, they have a defect section. And the defect section is 50% off. So which section do you think I shopped in? I could have paid $18 for a perfect version, or I could get 50% off, so $9 for a defect version. So obviously I bought the defect version. Can we see the defect? What's the defect? Yeah, I can't even see it. It's not like it's chipped or anything like that. Oh, right, it's this. It's a bit miscoloured there, so it's in the defect section, so obviously that's not an issue for me. So, Jack inspired me to buy that. $8. However, also in the defect section was this bowl. So I have a big debate with a guy about how often things go into the defect section and how likely it is that I'll find a green one in the defect section, and he said it's very unlikely. So I told him that if I come back in 3 weeks and find a green bowl in the defect section, I'm going to drop kick him in the head. He found it quite amusing. I didn't say that, I said I'm going to be very happy. Ah, right, yeah, so this one is actually quite defective, looking at that. It's got a big shit stain there. And it's rough as well. Like, obviously it's meant to be all super smooth. Thank you for Michelle and another person who's donated, but Jack's getting a lot of my time right now. So that is actually, you know, that is a genuine defect. But again, it's not going to bother me unless it affects the food, but it's all clay anyway, and clay is natural, so I don't see that being an issue. And then, guess what else is in the defect section? I'll take my super long cigarette out. So this should be $8, but in the defect section it was $4. And the reason I got it is because, have you ever smoked in front of a fan with an ashtray like this? Well, your ash doesn't stay in the tray. But this one, not only does it have walls, it has an overhanging wall. So the ash, even with the fan on, which is always on in Cambodia, now stays in the ashtray. What do you think about that, people? Are you impressed with my purchases, Jack? Thank you for inspiring me, Jack. Thank you for... So I went over, you know, I spent more money than was donated for these things, but that's great, because what you did is you gave me the impetus to do it, the confidence to do it, as in spend money on nice things as a nomad, or a potential nomad who's not really a nomad anymore, but could become a nomad again at any moment. So that's been my resistance to buying things like this. So thanks for helping me with that. And then because of your impetus, I managed to love myself a bit more and treat myself a bit more. Because there's definitely something about having... It's this fine line between doing it for others and doing it for ego. So like when I bought a Porsche or a G-Wagon or a big house, for example, or the teak house in Thailand, that was all about impressing others. and just honouring yourself. And this is definitely honouring myself. You know, I'm not walking around with my plates like, look at my plates, everyone. All right, I'm going to do a poo and pour that coffee. I'm really enjoying it, and people have been generous, so I think we're going to keep going. And then we're going to chat to Michelle, and oh wow, it's all Michelle. 1,000 jewels. Wow, a Baphomet trophy, nice one. We like a bit of Baphomet trophies. It's interesting, isn't it, how the YouTube gives the big one, the 1,000 jewels. That's the biggest jewel thing I've ever seen. That's actually worth like a fiver. That's a proper donation, I think. They call it the goat trophy, the Baphomet trophy. Oh, nice one, YouTube. Oh, YouTube, what a surprise. I wonder if there's a link between the fact that it's ran by them and it's satanic. It's probably just a coincidence, guys. I don't think there's anything spiritual going on in this world. I think it's all just a big bang and a coincidence, and everything is a coincidence. The fact that everything bad in the world seems to go back to the same people every time, it must just be a big coincidence, just like the Big Bang and our whole lives, our meaningless, non-spiritual lives, that are just a coincidence. And there's no point thinking or trying to better yourself. You might as well just rape and pillage, because it's all meaningless. And if you don't think it's meaningless and you do have some sort of spiritual connection, then we'll tell you there's a man floating in the sky, and he will hate you unless you give yourself to his son. It's not about being a good person. It's not about what you do in this world. It's not about going internal and surrendering and gaining wisdom and surrendering and merging with oneness. No, no, no. You just live in so much shame and guilt and fear that you will give yourself to this deity that we've made up, and then it will all be fine. Doesn't matter how much you've raped, doesn't matter how much you've murdered, as long as you accept this as your Lord, this external thing as your Lord, then it's fine. Doesn't matter if you beheaded someone. Doesn't matter if you and the police pass girls around to be gang raped in a certain South Yorkshire town, well, all over the country, let's be honest, but you know, it seems like it's acceptable to talk about it in that town, but nowhere else, so we'll do that. If it helps the plebs understand a little bit. If it helps take away their ability to project, that's not true, that's not what the BBC said. Oh yeah, but the BBC said it about Rotherham. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. But it's not happening anywhere else. Oh, okay. What about Luton? What about Birmingham? What about London? What about the whole country? I'm going to go and shit myself. Oh yeah, it's definitely been the worst stream ever because I've not given you any poo reports. How have you not pulled me up on that? As if you're not, I mean, you're all here for the poo reports, right? Maybe not, but you're going to get one anyway. So it's very good news today. My goodness, it's been incredible. So that's my third poo, and it's just as solid as the first one. That very barely happens. I would say 95%. In fact, I would just say solid, but a little bit squishy. Squishy, solid poos. A third one in. Right, that's all about to change because I'm going to smoke now. We will get to the waterfalls at some point today. I'm not sure actually. I feel like it's going to be a pretty solid day. And there's definitely more of those happening now. Oh, it's as if it might be related to one's emotional state. Who would have thought that the body and the mind are connected? Oh, fuck a duck. What a radical concept. Do you remember when you used to just believe that that your mind was everything, basically? And it wasn't related to your body? And you might be able to hold concepts like what you think affects how well you are. Like I remember having a conversation with my mum when, obviously she's still a pleb, but when I was a pleb. And we kind of acknowledged that if you think you're going to get the big C, you're more likely to get it. But that was as far as it could go. You know, there was no experience of how connected everything is. And of course you will only experience that by surrendering and going internal and becoming embodied and going beyond the mind. You know, we're all conditioned and socialized to be purely of the mind and be totally disconnected from our body. Now I remember being aghast that the body could remember how to breathe, but now I'm connected with my breath. Like it's not just an automatic action, it's actually become conscious, and the way I breathe has changed through that. You know, I now breathe into my belly rather than my chest. I now take deep breaths rather than short, shallow breaths, which of course is then telling the nervous system that one is not in fight or flight, that one can relax and be in the vagal or vagus nerve, whatever it's called. And it's massive. But I used to think that breath was nothing to do with me, and it was just something this body did that was attached to my brain. And my brain was me. And the rest of it was just serving my brain. But now I realise it's the other way around. The brain is meant to serve the body, but we've allowed the brain to think that it's the main thing in this equation. Kind of like the government, really. The government is supposed to serve the people, but seems to think that the people are here to serve it. Now, of course, I'm talking about Western governments. I know nothing of these governments, and I care not to speak into them, even if I did. Because it's not my country, it's not my issue, and it's not my place to speak of. Hi, Michelle. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Michelle is so lovely. 2 donations. So I'm interested, Michelle. What made you do that? So let's just say the jewels are worth a £5. Why would you not have just put 10 in here? What made you split it into 2? What do you know about jewels that I don't know? What motivated you to do that? This is all just learning. I'd be interested in that, if you care to share. If you don't, then that's fine. Storm Dog's in the house. That's good news. Did a recon on the local jab centre. The security were criminals. Few questions and their reactions said it all. Oh my God, they were just awful, weren't they? And this is also at the time where our security started becoming bioweapons. Sorry, obviously that started a long time ago. But en masse, they all became bioweapons. Vile, disgusting. Now what's this, is it a Cambridge lecturer, this black guy? I haven't really looked into it, but from the very little bit I've seen, apparently it's like the biggest DEI hire ever. Like we've got a professor at Cambridge who, you know, is a bioweapon, and like not even a good one, not even an intellectual one, I should say. Yeah, obviously they're few and far between, but there are a few that have an IQ above 80, and Even that horrendous LBC guy, like the really bad one, is it James O'Brien? Even he's had to acknowledge a little bit. And then he said, yeah, I couldn't watch it all. It was a 1 minute clip and I only managed 20 seconds because there was no point, I'm not talking about that horrible, disgusting demon. Why we're talking about that, I have no idea why we're talking about that. But it looks like it's interesting, and if I could motivate myself to do a Not Today Satan video, I definitely do one about it. I really hope that today I can find the energy to do a Not Today Satan video. But I'm just having to honour the fact that right now I am wiped out. And I think it's a collective thing. Obviously, I can see on an individual level why I would be wiped out with all the intense reflections I've received recently and intense leading ins I've had to do. One of which you guys don't know about, which is insanely deep. I've not been able to share it with you, but I will in a few weeks. And so of course I'm exhausted. But then I look at the collective and I look at my clients and I look at just, I mean, do you know, if anyone follows Yorkshire Lass on X, I'm not recommending her, she's a QAnoner, she's pathetic. But you know, she's also anti-system and all that. But she's so in fear that she's still hanging on to external hope. So she's a Christian and she believes in QAnon. She still thinks Trump is going to save the day, even after what's just happened with Spain. It's just, I mean, it just couldn't be more obvious. But he works for Israel. So, what am I talking about? Oh, it's gone, I'm fucked. It's gone on too long. Trump, Israel, criminals, DEI, how do we get to this? I feel like I was on something quite good. Gone. I feel like I went off on a tangent about Trump and I was actually in the middle of, I was about to come to a conclusion on something I've been talking about for 10 minutes and now there's going to be no conclusion. Sorry about that. It's going to get even worse when I smoke that. Maybe I shouldn't smoke that. Fuck knows, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm going to smoke. So smoking with a fan, guys, is really shit. It burns your cigarette everywhere and it's just blown ash into my eye. No, I don't really. Do you muscle test or tried kineology? No. But I've seen it and acknowledged that it's remarkable. There's definitely something in it. It's incredible. But no, I don't. There's something in me that wants to say, but it's probably just projection because I don't do it. But if you need to ask, you don't know. So I'm not knocking it, and I can see why people do it, but I just feel like, again, this is probably just defensivism from my ego, but I feel like, why would I need to ask or check? I mean, I suppose you could say that it's trusting more, and you're trusting the answer. But, you know, people use it on like, should I do this or should I do that? And, you know, fine, but I don't know, I just don't feel any need for it. But I totally acknowledge that it's a thing, and it's incredible. Okay, this was a big mistake. See, I don't understand that. So Lauren's saying I've replied 2 times since your fat response, but I feel like I'm further down in the chat to the response that I've already read out, so I don't understand what's going on with the chat. I don't understand. To me, that seems like it's in the wrong order. I've heard the boosters are called the boosters for a reason, Tom. My brother and I managed to stop our parents after 2 boosters. What's the reason? Oh, I'm not doing that anymore, Rachel. But 20? But what are we saying? Like, for another how long? No, I need those shoelaces. Oh my God. Those shoelaces are not for kitties to chew. You pulled the end off it, you absolute. Beautiful little pussy. No. They're not for pussies. You've got so many toys. Maybe you need more toys. It's annoying though because they prefer bits of string to the toys that I buy. Oh. Did we ever get any names for the live stream? I've lost it. There were ways around flying without the pokey. Not that I would ever use fake documents, of course. No, my pokey was above board. Oh, it was. Yeah, I'm totally with you, Josh. I would have done exactly the same. My Polish friend knew a doctor that was helping people with this. I just had no desire to fly anywhere in that time. It all just looked like way too much hassle to me. And I got to a place of accepting, but actually it wasn't true, so it wasn't really accepting. It was thinking that I would never ever fly again. Quite ironic with how my life is now. I thought that what we are seeing unfolding rapidly, so tyranny, one world government, I thought that was all going to happen in the space of, in 2020 and 2021, I thought that was all going to happen by 2025. It just felt so like tyrannical and didn't seem like it was going to stop. And of course it hasn't stopped and it's been crazy since, but it is a slightly longer timeline than I had predicted. So I thought I was never going to fly again. And I also thought I was going to run this community centre for the rest of my life. So, you know, what I thought obviously was far from accurate. But yeah, I'm all for it, Josh, and I'm happy to say that absolutely one should pay a good person who has a doctor's certificate to create fake documents to get round tyrannical death cults. I'm absolutely proud to say that, and I would absolutely encourage that, and I would pass on the details of any doctor that was. Obviously, I wouldn't just save them on a live stream, but you know, to the people who deserve it, who emailed me and asked for it, I'd absolutely give it to them. So Rachel hasn't come in with a 20, so I think we are going to finish soon. So I think this is a reference to the paperwork and the cost of it, and that is the figure that I heard people talking about. Oh no, not Kerry. Oh. I got one jab because I wasn't allowed to look after my mum unless I did. Oh, it's so mean. It's so awful. I hated having to do that. Oh, I can't even imagine. It went against everything I believe in, but it was worth it for my ma. Man, what a situation to be in. Yeah, I have no judgment of this at all. I can't imagine what it must have been like to... Did you fully know what it was, or did you just have an awareness of it? Like, even if you just had a suspicion and a question, it must have been very difficult. But if you are as aware as you are now about what that was, I don't know how you did it. But I don't judge that you did it, and I honour the fact that you put your mother ahead of your needs. Whilst it's not the decision I would have made, and it's not, you know, there's no right or wrong here. There's no, it's just, for me, oh God. So my mum's in a home. She's in the last years of her life, and I have to say, yeah, there's no way I'd have done it. There's no way I'd have done it. But that's not to say that that's a better decision. It could be that I'm more selfish. But then that could be a good thing. Is it more important that I'm around to serve humanity for another 20 years, let's say, than it is to serve my mother in that moment? Well, who's to say? And that's a personal decision. So I really honour the decision you made, but I wouldn't have done it. And I can't imagine how it must have felt to roll your sleeve up, knowing enough to know that you know, that it wasn't a good thing at least. Wow. Oh, my little Scottish pixie. How do you feel about it now, Kevin? If you're happy to talk about it, I mean, you know, it could be quite heavy with you. But how do you feel now? Does it scare you? Have you done any detoxes, this sort of thing? I'd be quite interested to know. Less so, I mean, the detox is interesting, but much more about how psychologically and spiritually you deal with this now. Oh, Rachel, you got me all excited about 20. Tom, end the live if donations is all you care about. I can't afford any more till I get paid for my pleb job, for fuck's sake. It's not all I care about. I really enjoy doing it. And I think you can see I'm leaning into making it less and less about money, but it is a process. It's not like something you just click your fingers and happens, you know, it's you're unraveling a lifetime of repression and indoctrination and fear and scarcity. So it's step by step. So as you can see today, the first hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I didn't get more than 15 pounds, I don't think. And I kept going because I'm committed to this new way and trusting this new way. And so far it's totally worked out. And it turns out tonight you know, there's 15 donations, so, you know, great and fantastic, thank you. So once again, that trust has been reflected back to me. But you directly asked the question and I gave you an answer. So I think that's very different. But to go into the projection of that's all I care about when I'm clearly displaying it's not is foolish. Also what's foolish is to donate when you can't afford it. So I totally agree with it, you know. Until you get your pleb pay, you should make sure that you can serve yourself. Because how can you serve others when you can't serve yourself? No notification. Yeah, it's not much good for the pixie. Fan is on it, as always. Have I already done this? Is this new? Bit confused. Man, either I'm like just totally not with it, which I think is very possible. Or the stream is all over the place. Or maybe I'm just miles behind. Am I miles behind? 7:16, oh, I'm an hour behind. Shit the bed. Oh yeah, right, let's scroll down because we're coming to the end. Scroll down and see if we, now Screech, you're someone. Lee works out who you are as well. You're Blimey, aren't you? Hey Tom, you talk a lot about consciousness. Could you define what it means and where does it come from? No, because you're not asking in good faith. You're not interested. You're trying to criticize. So all you want to do is twist my words intellectually to avoid yourself because you're blimey and you're absolutely disgusting. So you are going to get blocked because I know who you are. And you have awful intentions and you're completely of the mind and you're so scared of going deeper than that that you will use AI and your intellect to intellectually criticize something that is beyond the intellectual, which is beyond the mind and can only be experienced and felt, as many people in this chat have, hence why they dig it so strongly. You are vile and have really low vibrational, low consciousness, fearful intentions. See, I bought it, then I got to, I might, because I've just gone down the chat, I've not got any context. But I'm now at 7:41, so I'm now half an hour behind. Let's keep going, let's bring up Storm Dog. Tom, which animals would be your spirit animal? For me, I choose the only honey badger and house martin. Do you choose your spirit animal? Is that how it works? I'm not so sure you're meant to choose it. I think you're meant to meet it. I've got a few spirit animal stories I can share. The one that comes up most strongly and seems to be the most genuine because I had no control over it. So in MKP, spirit animals was a big thing. In fact, you introduce yourself with your spirit animal name, and mine was always changing because I didn't know who I was, and I was trying to control it and being egoic about it. So, it was always white mountain lion or, observing eagle. But when I actually got given one, and my ego wasn't involved, it was quite the opposite. So I was at a, let's just call it a metaphysics retreat, and the guy was very impressive. Very impressive. And one thing that he did was, how did it look now? I can't quite remember how it looked, but basically there were a load of cards. We were all in a circle. There's 50 people there. We all stood in a circle. And there's these spirit animal cards on the floor, and you go and pick one. There might have been more to it than that, but basically that's what happened. No, don't break the new ashtray. Oh my God, they nearly broke the new ashtray. It almost fell off the sofa onto a tiled floor. So, people are going around, everyone's going in and picking a card. And people are getting lions and eagles and jaguars and elephants. And I'm like, well, obviously I'm getting a lion. Clearly I'm the best person in this room. Now, in actual fact, I was the least conscious person in that room. It was a very conscious, the people going to this retreat had fucking, had been doing a lot of work for a long time. And then there was me. I was so self-hating. I was probably one of the richest people there. I was so self-hating. They were all paying 100 quid a night to stay in this gorgeous hotel where the event was. And I was sleeping in my van outside, and I was probably the richest person there. Certainly one of them. And not only that, but at lunchtime, they were all eating together and communicating, and I was going to my van and getting stoned on my own and probably having a wank. So I was definitely the lowest consciousness person there. But of course, I was very much of the ego, so I thought I was the best person there. And I knew I wasn't. I was shaking like a leaf whenever we had to do anything. And there were many things that he got us to do that I had to walk out of that were too challenging for me. I remember there was one that was really about just honouring people and being honoured. It was more being honoured that I struggled with, where you had to go up to people and say, I don't know, 3 sentences, honouring sentences. I see the light in you, and it was something like that. Oh, I had to walk out. I went red, started sweating, started shaking, and had to leave the room because I couldn't be honoured. Honouring another was a struggle for me, but being honoured was far more challenging. Anyway, so back to this circle. So obviously I'm telling myself I'm about to get a lion or something like that, and I go up and I get a fucking finch. Like, what the hell is a finch? It's a little bird. What do you mean it's a little fucking bird? What are you on about? Give me another card, bitch. But no, I got the finch. So the finch was my spirit animal. I was very angry. Or my ego was very hurt, let's say. And then I learned, so I think after you picked up the card, he read something out about what it meant. And it was the bird of community. Finches are very communal birds. Ooh, I'm getting quite tearful. I can sense my tear ducts wanting to react, but I'm too repressed and blocked for them to actually react. I mean, I do cry quite a lot, but to do it on a live stream is another matter without really feeling what I'm talking about, but I definitely could cry over this. And at the time, so this must have been 2019 maybe. So at the time, quite social, even organising events actually, but very, very isolated and very depressed and repressed. So it didn't make a great deal of sense, but I didn't forget it. You know, I didn't really make much of it. I kind of projected onto it. I was like, that's not me, fuck that. But you know, I didn't forget it. And then, yeah, I wasn't organising events. It didn't make much sense. I've just remembered a bit more. I wasn't organising events. And then 2020 happened and lockdown happened, and that activated me, and suddenly I started organising lots of events to get people together out of, you know, back to the system mainly. I started having bonfires at my house and doing posts on Facebook like, all are welcome, bring all of your shadow, all of your light, all of you is welcome here. Oh God, I am getting teary, man. It was beautiful. It was a really beautiful time actually, and some really beautiful people turned up, and it was quite good. And I started a Facebook group where I basically did my first steps into being a YouTuber. I didn't know it at the time. But I started a self-help Facebook group where I encouraged people to share their shit in there. And obviously I encouraged them by doing videos myself every day and sharing myself. And it was my first attempts at sharing vulnerably. It was all very egoic. But you know, it was my first attempts and learnings and experiences of sharing vulnerably in video form. And this group took off. Everyone in Sheffield. A very small handful from a very select group of people, the spiritual people in Sheffield, wanted to be part of this group. And obviously I ran it very egoically and decided who was in there based on my hierarchical ways. And I would ban people, you know, if they weren't good enough. I mean, it was just awful. I mean, I suppose it's still showing up now in some degree, but, you know, I feel like it's much more justified now. And then suddenly I remembered, I was like, the finch, the bird of community. I seem to be creating community all around me. How interesting. Maybe there's something to it. And then I joined this men's group and I meet a man called Steve. And long story short, 2022, we create an 8,000 square foot shadow work centre, a community centre. Sound like, oh, there's that fucking finch again. And at that point it became undeniable, and at that point I really accepted it and loved it, and almost got a tattoo of a finch. I was going to get 2 finches here. So I think there's something in it. Another, it wasn't quite spiritual animal, but something else that really proved this for me was, they're not really tarot cards, because tarot cards are very, I think I'm right in saying, but maybe I'm wrong actually. I was going to say tarot cards are quite specific, aren't they? Like there's the hanging man, there's the, you know, and they're quite, but I know people make many different versions of tarot cards, so I don't know if they'd still be considered tarot cards. I think you might call them angel cards when people make different versions of them. But you know, they're in the tarot genre for sure. So these angel cards we use, I'll call them, which were animal based. I have told this story before. So there's Chris, Tommy, Steve. Oh, I remembered her name. I forgot her name last time, and then I remembered it again, but I've forgotten it again. Chloe and, oh shit, come on! I've forgotten her name again, and you'll know why when I tell you what card you got. I remembered it the other day. How can I keep forgetting? This person was such a big part of my life for 3 years. But she was repressed. And she was only there because she was licking Chloe's pussy. Not her cat. And that was funny, wasn't it? And yeah, so we all pull a card out. Steve gets the elephant. Now, Steve is a projector, as in, I forget what you call it, not personality types. You know the manifesting generator, projector, and I think there's another one. Before, I'm just going to call them types because I forget what they are. Archetypal, maybe, but I don't think they are. Yeah, types of people we can be, types of energies we can be. So he's a projector, which means and there's very few projectors in the world. There's many more generators and manifesting generators than whatever the other one is. So he can hold visions. And he was the leader of the community centre. And he got the elephant, which is obviously wise and holds the vision and has good memory, you know, holds the vision. I got an otter, and I can't quite remember what that represented, but it represented something about fun and play and basically awakening people. You know, Heyoka energy, Port Jester energy, awaken people by prodding at the boundaries. Chris, who was a people-pleasing pussy and was being manipulated by myself at the community centre because he was a people-pleasing pussy and was working 60 hours a week for a room and some food. He got the B, the worker bee, the people-pleasing. I can't remember what Chloe and Tommy got, but it was completely aligned. And then the one that was only there because she was licking Chloe's pussy, i.e. she was still woke and repressed, got the earthworm. Which basically meant, you know, you're at the start of your spiritual journey. Keep digging, keep seeking. And one day you'll be like the rest of the people in this room. But right now you're a lowly earthworm. She was mortified. I mean, well, she knew it was coming. She was the last one to pull a card, and I could feel energetically she was shaking because she knew what she was going to get. She got the earthworm, and when she got it, she went like this. Bless her. Ah, bless her, man. This life is so cruel, but it's also so funny. She got the card and she just went, I always get the earthworm. Literally every time she pulls these cards, she gets the earthworm because they're accurate, because it's not woo-woo, it's real. And she was an earthworm. I'm sure she's grown now. I'm so gutted I can't remember her name. Chloe and... Oh my God, how can I not remember her name? No, it's because she was an earthworm. She was very forgettable. And like I say, she was only there because she was licking Chloe's pussy. She also had some great talents. She was very practical. She was very good at organising and cleaning and... Oh God, yeah, she was very masculine. I mean, they were lesbians. She was very masculine. Like, she could use drills and... Oh my God, she was incredible. Like, she was very talented. So that's my spirit animal experiences. I think that's the end of the show, everybody. Let's just see if we've got any name suggestions. People don't seem to really like doing this, but I cannot think of a name for this stream. I don't even know what we've talked about. I am so not with it. Now, nobody answered my questions about whether they're feeling... Did I ask you about... I mean, I remember mentioning Yorkshire Lass. I don't know... Oh, that was the tangent that didn't get finished. I got lost in Trump. But what I was actually trying to say was Yorkshire Lass was talking about how she's energetically drained, and she's very egoic. Like, she's very... creates an image. You know, Christian, QAnon, you know, delusion. She cares a lot about what people think about her. So for her to admit she's exhausted is quite a big deal. So she must be really exhausted. And I just see that a lot. So yeah, so I don't think I ever did ask the question because I got lost on a Trump tangent. But the question was going to be, are you feeling exhausted right now? And do you think it's energetic with everything that's going on in the world? And the Schumann resonance. And I think we're, you know, you can look at it from all the dimensions. So from the third dimension, the system is crumbling and it's attacking the people as it crumbles, and that's very exhausting. But then we're also shifting timelines, which is more my perspective, and I think that's what's very exhausting. Also, shadow work, hopefully for some of you, is being done, and that's very exhausting. There was a pleb that commented on a video that Lee, so the pleb didn't know, but I'd recorded 5 videos in a row with Lee. So this is when I was wearing a red t-shirt. We did Fish Shop Man, we did Say and Reap Energies, and then we did a couple of shadow work videos. And by the shadow work videos, they were later ones that we recorded. I'm lying down because I'm fucking exhausted. And I'm yawning a lot. And some pleb is like, look how disinterested he is. So to be fair to the pleb, he didn't know that this was a 5th video we'd recorded. But more importantly about what he doesn't understand is, when I first met Lee, this doesn't really happen now. I mean, it does actually, it still happens. I was yawning a lot last night with him. When I first met Lee, his energy is so powerful, and say he's vibrating here and I'm vibrating here, obviously the gap there, for me to bridge that gap, or even be, I don't think I can bridge that gap, but for me to be in the presence of that gap and be open So this is why the plebs are all repressed and projecting, because this is how they deal with the gap. They don't traverse it, they project and protect themselves. But I'm open and I'm trying to traverse it. So that's exhausting. You know, that is exhausting for this one and this one. It's exhausting for both. And so the pleb is like, look at him yawning, he's not interested. Like, yawning is purging. Like, if you ever drank ayahuasca, you would definitely know this. But yawning is purging. And the shadow work is energetically exhausting. So yes, I am lying down and I'm yawning because I'm doing the work exactly the opposite of what you're projecting. Because I'm very interested. Oh, plebs, man. Fucking plebs. Night, my man. Big love. Nice. Have you tried pissing into the wind, Tom? In relation to smoking in front of a fan, I've lost all faith in humanity after COVID. Yeah. You're dead right. It's exactly like pissing into the wind. It's a nightmare. But I can't see another way of doing it because, right, if a fan was behind you, you'd still get the fan experience. Do you think I should get more cats? That's the next live stream. Do you think I should breed these cats? Or do you think two's enough? Yeah, so if a fan was behind you, you'd still get the fan effect, but it wouldn't affect your smoking. I think that's how to do it. However, there's no space for a fan to be behind me, so it could only to be to the side, and that's even worse because then you're going to get side burning. And side burning is every pothead's worst nightmare. Oh yeah, and then the last bit, I've lost faith in humanity after COVID. Yeah, I did too, but it's back for me now. Because I understand what's happening here much more, and I'm much less resentful and angry and judgmental. I still have all of those things in me, of course, but less so. And I'm much more compassionate and understanding than I used to be. And I'm intellectually much more aware of oneness and experientially as well, actually. I'm starting to experience oneness. And then all this just dissipates. Once you're embodied in oneness, all this completely disappears. I'm not embodied yet in oneness, fully. Or even, probably not even 50%. If we were to put it in percentages, which is obviously ridiculous, but I'm trying to say it in ways that can be understood. So yeah, this is an inevitable stage. But there are stages deeper than this where you won't feel this way. However, I still, I'm very much traversing in this, let's just call it stage. And I experience the duality of this stage. So I experience both what you speak of, total loss of faith in humanity, and every time I read one of Rachel's comments, it takes me further to that place. But then I read one of your comments or one of Stormdog's comments, and it takes me to the other side of that spectrum, which is complete faith in oneness and total knowing well, knowing isn't quite the right word, total trust in this all playing out exactly as it should. Yeah, so I'm pretty much caught up now. It's saying 8:09 for me and it's 8:29, so I'm only 20 minutes behind in the chat. Yeah, not tonight, but last night you made a lot. 60 from heart, 26. Yeah, you're dead right, and that's a really good point, Rachel. I shouldn't judge it. I mean, I'd like to get to a place where I'm not even really thinking about the money, but that's absolutely not the case now. So coming from the only place I can, which is where I'm at, where money does still motivate and matter to me, this is definitely a way to get to a deeper stage of less attachment to money, where I still think about money, but rather than obsessing over each minute in each live stream, And I think I've got past that now, but I'm definitely still doing exactly what you're pointing out. Thank you for this reflection, Rachel. It's very good. I'm judging each live stream on its own merit, on a one-off. Whereas you're dead right. It's an umbrella, isn't it? It's a service I provide. Let's call it that. Entertainment service, whatever you want to call it. Spaz show. Literally call it what you want. The point still stands. It's something I provide, and I get rewarded for that in many ways, and one of those is financial. Overall, and it's not about each performance, let's call it, which suggests that it's not authentic, so I don't like that word. But there is definitely an element of performance offering, and then it can be whatever you want it to be, the Spaz show if you wish. Has Marky been trying to go to bed and he keeps getting dragged back in? Just like me, I've been trying to end the stream. And why is it saying that again? There's something definitely odd going on. Marky still can't leave. Yeah, I knew this was a hater. The person that texted me about you is dead right. You're either Vert or a demon. I'm going to stop saying Vert because that gives him some sort of credit when he's just some pathetic alcoholic. The most desperate retard in the world. But yes, you're not who you claim to be. And I think it is the original one because this always happens. Like he plays these characters and he does quite a good job, and then he can't help but get hateful. Now I did expose him yesterday, so he might as well just do this now. But all the positive characters he's created, obviously he's created many from either side of the spectrum. All the positive characters he's created, he can't keep doing it. Like he cracks and he ends up hating, even though he spent all his time creating this positive character. Because he is hate, and it always comes out in the end. So yes, I know, and I don't care. You seem to think that tricking me, which obviously if someone just comes into the comments, I'm going to take them at face value at first, is some sort of, it gives you some sort of kick, but that's how desperate you've got, that's how little control you have now. But and how pathetic you are that you spend your time in my comments taking some sort of dopamine hit, but some sort of accreditation based on whether you can trick me or not. Like, that's how obsessed you are with me and how much you're avoiding yourself. Like, it's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, be human then, yeah, really showing himself. Really showing himself. The demon's horns have been exposed. Oh yeah, look, wow. Okay, it's time for the block. We'll see you again in another character, no doubt, because you can't meet yourself. And you're obsessed with me because I have such a strong light and you have such a strong darkness. And you are actually fully possessed. So that's what's happening. It's not even you, it's like, it's beyond you can't even control it. Because you gave up on yourself so long ago. You gave up on yourself when your mother rejected you. Bless you. I send you love. Truth, you're obsessed. Oh, that's to someone else. What's the hippie landlord? This guy's funny, man. If he can manage to control his repression to a point where he doesn't get completely hateful like he used to, because he clearly wants to be here. He's clearly attracted to my light, even though obviously he won't consciously know that. So he's learning to behave a bit more, and he does have intellect and wit, so he can actually be a very positive for a chat if he manages to get over his self-hatred a little bit. Which it seems that through my boundaries and blockings and making him come back as another character, he's learnt to value this chat enough to not let his self-hatred splurge into it. So well done, Tokuta. Progress. What is hippie landlord's spirit animal? I'm saying he is some kind of electric eel. I feel like an electric eel would be a bit more energized. Sloth crossed with, is there an animal that's kind of like, oh, I don't know. What's mischievous and fun and a bit outside of a box? I don't know, it's a sloth crossed with something that's mischievous and fun and a bit outside of a box. Sugar, I like sugar. I will leave on this. I didn't even know you were here, Sugar. How have I missed you? Got to tend to some new babies. My spirit animal might be the chicken. We'll leave the chat up. Got to wrangle my baby chickens. Oh, beautiful. You're into chickens. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I'd be very concerned if your spirit animal's a chicken. I mean, I suppose there's going to be something around selflessness and like giving in terms of how it just chucks out eggs for us to eat. I mean, obviously that's not its intention, is to have babies. But my God, they are so brainless and stupid. I mean, I love them. I love the fact you have chickens, and I love them. You know, I love what I'm about to say about them. But they are so brainless, and it seems to me like they live their lives in fear. Like they just seem scared all the time. It doesn't look like it's much fun to be a chicken. You know, if you know people's basic understanding of karma, which obviously is retarded. Where the first concept you have of karma is like it's based on like what you'll come back as, isn't it? And I feel like in that perspective, which isn't accurate, it would be a big punishment to come back as a chicken. Remember when Glenn Hoddle, as England manager, said that disabled people are paying for past lives? Fantastic. As if he said that. As in, like, yeah, it's true. But in a way. But as if you said that as England manager. What were you thinking? The Spaz Show. That's good. Yeah, it has been the Spaz Show. Yeah, that's really good. That's the name. Thank you. Toe cutter, you see. You can be a great contribution once you've had a few boundaries are put in place for your naughty little boy. Yeah, if you're new, Josh, a big psyop was pulled on me where I didn't YouTube for 3 months and thought people were trying to kill me. It was quite a big deal. So I'm talking about the person that pulled that psyop. Oh my God, that's the ashtray. It survived. Man, that was like 10 inches away from the edge of the sofa. Like, fuck it, there's no way I can get more cats, man. I kind of want more cats, but I think 2 is enough. Oh yeah, no one answered my question about that. We'll save that for tomorrow's live. Tomorrow's live is probably going to be titled, should I breed my cats or should I get more cats? So tune into that if you want to talk about cats. If you like the pussy. Tonight's live stream is going to be called a Spaz Show. Thank you to Toe Cutter for... can you confirm? I mean, I don't need you to. I'm pretty much certain that you are Toe Cutter, but yeah. Are you? Yeah, you're probably so deceitful that you'll think that you'll get some sort of dopamine hit from not confirming. Fuck it. When I saw those 6 tied yesterday's shirts, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So you're answering my other question, where I asked you, had you seen the video yet? So yeah, I have released a video. 6 tie-dyed shirts on the line. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? Isn't it so him? You know, like so repressed and so free all at the same time. Like you're about to hear you're going to hear his story in a week or 10 days. And what he's done in life. Like, oh my God. I mean, it's hard to, you might not be able to hear it because obviously, you know, he doesn't speak coherently. But if you can decipher what he's saying, like, oh my God. I mean, I'll tell you one bit. Like he went off with 2 horses for a few years and just wandered around. I mean, the guy has fucking lived. He's incredible. And at some point, he's made millions of pounds as well. I don't know where that fits in. I'd love to interview him, but I just think it would be too hard work. Like, I don't think he would make a good video. Like, his stories would be incredible, but the way they were told would just be horrendous. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, do you think it would be worth interviewing him? I just think it would be, you know, like for me, I love him, but he's very energetically draining. Right, I've got a delivery actually in an hour and 20 minutes, and I need to go and buy some sand before it gets hot. So I'm going to end this live stream. We've got the name. It's been good, man. It's been really good. It started off. I was struggling, but I've really enjoyed the last hour. Thank you. Being a YouTuber does bring with it some crazy people like, oh mate, you would be amazed. I mean, I think I've had a very extreme example of it. In terms of hatred, it's a massive journey. In terms of haters, for any YouTuber, it's a massive journey. And then obviously if you're authentic and controversial, truthful and you push boundaries and you deliberately make content that makes people laugh, it is, well, obviously there's a paradox in it. Like, one, it's just funny and great and true, and then the other thing is, you know, it's slightly disrespectful and uses people. Then you're going to get extreme hate. So that's a whole journey for every YouTuber. And I think Psychopaths is a journey for any YouTuber that's been around for 5 years, but not to the extent where you know, fall for psyop and think people are trying to kill you and travel 5 countries in the space of a week because you think people are trying to kill you. I mean, it was really intense. And then there's all the other stuff he did, which I don't really want to talk about because he loves it when I talk about it. And as much as I'd like to tell you guys, I don't want to reinforce the demon. You know, I don't want to feed it. I don't want to energetically feed it. But you know, that unbelievable. Like, if I showed you the emails I got off him as all these different characters, like you just be gobsmacked. Like, when I have shown a few people, and they're just like, I just can't believe you went through that. I can't believe how sick this person is. Like sickness off the charts. One of my moderators at the time had worked in a mental asylum, and she said, I've never seen anything like this. Like, this is off the charts. And everyone I tell is like, you've got to go to the police. I'm just like, nah, it's not my style. But, you know, anyone else would have gone to the police over what I experienced, for sure. And I've got so much evidence. And it's quite a serious crime. You know, it's up to 10 years, I think, in jail. But yeah, it's just not my way. All right, guys, thanks so much for being part of it. Thanks to all the donators. I will see you tomorrow to discuss the pussy. Have we finished everything? Was there any more questions that needed concluding? I think that's it. See you later.